Hey, the synth lines in this song, we're going to be able to make those eventually. What's up, Yeso? How's it going? Yeso. Yeah, so been working hard on this stuff. We can finally program it. Willow was hanging out outside of the shop. This is the outside of the shop cam. But as soon as I sat next to the desk, she went upstairs. So unfortunately, we don't get a Willow today. I was hoping she would stick around down here for a little bit, humor us, because she's a very cute dog. But nope, she's already had a very exciting day. She's played with all her friends. Look at this thing that I built. Where'd this come from? This actually came from what was going to be the module testing module. I figured I'd need a couple discrete signals in order to mix them together. So we're going to try to program this thing up today and see how hard it could possibly be to do something with a screen. Hey, Celia, how's it going? It looks like your post double posted for some reason. Oh, it's only one in here. Oh, you know what? I must have two Twitch windows open. Yeah, that's what it is. I have two Twitch windows open, so it pulled from both of them. That's funny. Social Stream Blade is apparently pretty accepting of all chat windows. Where is the chat window? Wait a minute. There's this one. Okay. Close that one. There we go. Now I only get a single message from the Twitchers. What chip is this based on? This is a Teensy 4.0. Teensy 4.0. Yeah, the I2C screens. I found an Arduino menu library that I think we're just going to draw from. So we're just going to draw from like a menu library, and we'll probably be able to get all of our ducks in a row that way. It'll be nice and easy for stream. So nice and easy. But yeah, all of the debris that's on the desk is from an intense couple days of soldering things. And I'm not going to use the provided libraries. I'm just going to use somebody else's menu selection thing. That should be pretty easy, right? We'll just have to populate the menus with basically channel 1, channel 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each channel will have a variety of options, the waveform, the frequency, and then the amplitude. That's it. Waiting for HL Alex to download at the same time. Half-Life, oh, right. Reading up on readouts for a vacuum table. Oh, that's neat. Vacuum table. Yeah, I need to finish Alex. I played a little bit of it, but I didn't play much. But then Stalker 2 is also out. And I've been meaning to get back to playing Stalker 2, but this thing took all of my concentration, what little there is for me to divvy out. Hold on, I'm gonna have to hiccup a little bit. Okay, there we go. I need to get myself into talking mode, which means burping a lot. It's just the way my body is built. But yeah, all my concentration went into this thing because I don't have my ADHD meds right now. And I keep forgetting to send my doctor a message that says like, hey, I need a prior auth in order to get this stuff. I'll have to send them that. Maybe after stream I can send it and hopefully get myself back on medication, because otherwise, you know, there's one thing that I'll concentrate on and that's it. It's usually building stuff is the one thing that gets my undivided attention. A big glass full of ice over here. Let me get some seltzer to put in it. There's a little coffee at the bottom of this. Oh, well. Oh, it is on sale? The remaster's coming soon, right? They had a little documentary about it. Or they mentioned it in the documentary about Half-Life. I need to watch the documentary about Half-Life. There's a little coffee in that. Ugh. Cold. A nice cold glass of seltzer to spill all over the desk. Yes, look at how cold it is. Everything looks warm and in comparison to it, and it leaves behind a little halo of cold, little cold spot underneath it. It is cloudy out. I don't know what the weather's like here. It feels like snow almost. We had like kind of oh no, never mind. The sun's, so it's partially cloudy out. It was like dark out there the last time I looked before I sat at the desk. Let's see here. So YouTubers, you guys are not hearing music. The music is only on Twitch, because on Twitch we can have a separate audio channel that gets just thrown out, and that way we don't run into copyright issues. It was the compromise that Twitch had for VODs. So like if you watch, for instance, like Moon Moon playing, I watched him playing My Summer Car, and during those VODs he has music that's pumped to a separate track. So watching them, even on YouTube, the uploads to YouTube don't have the music on it. So it was just him blurting out of key, off rhythm, to some song that you don't even hear. So we have that system here, but no, I can't, I'm not immune. I actually sing along as well. I got to stop doing that. Ow, I think I got something in the knuckle of my middle finger now. Ow. What's up, Kellogg's? How you doing? I got debris like it's itchy. Yeah, there was a lot of soldering and configuring and reconfiguring. Now, I have not even tested this board yet. It should work, but I haven't tested it yet. So there's probably going to be 1 or 2 mistakes on it. Always got to troubleshoot for that 1 or 2 little mistake. You always make that mistake. You print a new desk mat with filament that changes color on exposed heat. I don't want to print a desk mat. That would drive me crazy. What is this thing on my... Okay. That little red spot right there. There's nothing in there. There's nothing on the skin, right? It itches. There might be something. There it is. That little... Right there. That little thing. There's a little splinter. Finishing up a job application. Oh, nice. I hope they pick you. It's on the Discord. There was a job application that somebody got that was all keywords. It was 6 pages of just the phrasing that you would put on each individual like skill. Definitely made it with an AI. Definitely just told an AI to give every type of bullet point for a skill that is typical to a job application, and then just submitted 6 pages of this stuff. And for some reason, the hiring manager picked that up, gave that to this person, and they were going to interview them. What the hell? I know somebody, one of my neighbors is using AI to do that kind of job application. Whatever it is, what do you call it? Rigmarole, I suppose. Just the kind of busy work that job applications are. Love using the temperature-sensitive filament on cases for things. Makes it easy to work out. You need a fan in there. I don't know if that would have worked for... I mean, if for the thermals, this thermal imager is just heat. It just gets super hot, and then it starts to fail. It needs a lot of air to circulate, or a metal case that's going to bleed out some of the air. And I should probably print this in black. I have matte black filament. I should print that in matte black. I made it purple just because... But it's this sort of like pastel purple that I was using at the time. It's not that all that attractive. I should do it either in matte black or, I don't know, dark red. Been very tempted to use AI for this. I hate doing job applications. Something about them turns my brain off. And and that's where you have your own silicon brain to step in and do all that busy, boring work. It's one of the few uses of that stuff that I can advocate, is trying to preserve your sanity in the face of a system that's largely broken. The old adage, you got to enter your application, you submit it electronically, and then you enter all the information in it again. And it's like, please, somebody else do this. How am I going to get that splinter out? Because it's really bugging me. Might actually just be a cut that I'm feeling. The mix is Big John, my buddy Big John, from the PEX experiment, the Philadelphia experiment. The Philadelphia PEX experiment. I'm actually gonna, you know what? I'm gonna brush this off. I'm gonna get all this stuff off. I'm gonna get all this off of my desk. I do need to ohm out a couple things before we even power it up, but I would like to get just like an initial test going where we just output, screens are falling from the sky. We'll get like an initial test where we put Hello World on the screen and pump a couple waveforms out. I'm not going through that right now. That might just all get thrown away. All right. So I started watching Arcane again because I had only watched it once. See what I'll think on the second time around. What's great is that I know nothing about League of Legends, so it makes Arcane even better. There we go. A cluttered desk is a cluttered mind. I have a blank desk. PLAST I have is around 20-ish C. Going from dark red to bright red from 20 to 30 C, and looks like signal yellow around 30. That's very interesting. That works well? Use it when I made a new case for my... Oh, I see, for your FPGA. Nice. Those only have a certain number of cycles in them, don't they? That's what I heard about color changing stuff. Like somebody made either a dress or shoes or something that were color change. Oh no, that's the UV changing. There was one like dressmaker that made a dress that changed color when it went out in sunlight. But those apparently only have so many cycles. I don't know about the heat related ones. Huh, I guess that's just gonna bug me all day. What is the weather forecast here? I'm gonna look that stuff real quick. Using merrysky.net, which isn't great, but it's all I have. Just cloudy. Cloudy, clear, clear, partly cloudy, clear, cloudy, cloudy. Light snow on Wednesday? I don't believe the forecast that far out. I think our forecasting abilities have suffered quite a bit lately. Takes a second when exposed to heat up. It all depends on how thick the layers are. Well, yeah, it's just I heard that there's only like a certain number of heat cycles that, and that's probably different now. That's probably different now. It's the UV stuff, the activated by sunlight stuff that only has a certain number of cycles. And I think I'm confusing the two because I don't know what the heat cycling stuff, what's the longevity of that color change. I don't know what the mechanism chemistry-wise is either, so I know nothing about it. I know nothing about it. I don't know anything. Yes, sure, yes, sure. We have over here. Just gonna let people trickle in as we get towards the afternoon. We're gonna be sitting here programming. Programming, not pro gaming. Should do some game streams. I was watching Gonad playing Finnish Cottage Simulator, which those games look very, very promising. They just need a little bit of time for features and stability to get in there. There's a little bit of lack of features and stability. They're very early games, but I mean, hey, My Summer Car was an early game once too. But these are very My Summer Car-like games. Very much like My Summer Car, which is great because My Summer Car is awesome. We were saying in that stream, like they down to two of them, like another golf game. Finnish Cottage Simulator doesn't have this, but they have the swear button, which I think is a key feature of a My Summer Car-like, and it's part of sort of the comedy of the game that you have to kind of lean into. With My Summer Car, everything is supremely difficult and punishing to the player, but in a way that discourages you from doing things the wrong way. If you do things the right way, things are chores, you get stressed, and you curse. Like, there it is. That is a distillation of Finland. But like, that is part of the comedy of it. Everybody looks like a thumb. Everything's difficult. You're trying to survive in an otherwise rather pleasant, scene. It's a little bit boring, rather pleasant, and then My Summer Car has added things to do along the way. That's part of the comedy. And so if you're going to make a game like Playing Golf in America, you want it to kind of like suck in sort of a comedic way. And then having a button that lets you just be like, ah, shit, is perfect. It's perfect for that sort of genre of game. And I hope that it seems like Finnish Cottage Simulator kind of gets that, and more of that may work in. Another golf game kind of gets it. And again, more stability, more features, more little things that sort of add to that whole ensemble, the whole sort of appearance of the simulator game. Simulate being from somewhere. I think that, given a little bit of time, those games are going to be awesome. And I'll have to check them out then. I may sit on them for a little while until they kind of get there with some features. And they're both close. They're both very close. It's a limited number of features that I think it would sort of round out the games. Stability being one of them. It's the Finnish Cottage Simulator. Fairly prone to crashing. I'm not sure about another golf game. Finnish Cottage Simulator also has multiplayer. You get an achievement if you hit your friend in the belly with a dart. Because there's always that person at the party that wants to catch a dart. Always someone. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, we'll need to get this running. I need to get menus in here. The simplicity of it is that it would be up, down, right, and then back. Up, down, forward, and back. And so up and down gets you to your channel. We'd have like maybe a splash screen that just shows what the 6 channels are doing. And then up and down to get to whichever channel you want to edit. Hit OK. Change the feature with up and down. Hit back. And back again to the main menu. So that, I mean, it's just like a simple menu that allows me to change the outputs on the 6 thingies. That's it. Bum, 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 bum. What else do we got going on? Not a whole lot. I mean, it's a holiday. Did all the garbage and the recycling today. My dog got to play with a bunch of her friends. And then we went on a walk. And she got to play with more of her friends on the walk. And so when we came back, she ended up collapsing on the floor outside the shop. I set up this camera to capture the puppy. The camera, I haven't focused it yet. It's on the burn the subs mode right now, just because I calibrated it. But as soon as I set up the camera, she went, oh, you're doing this again? I'm out of here. And she just left. She just leaves. She just gets out of here. There's no audio on that? Okay, good. That's the YouTube monitor window. We have very few viewers on YouTube. I don't think YouTube likes me very much. Sometimes we get up to 5 viewers. It's amazing. But it's very, very few viewers on YouTube. Mostly that channel is there for archive purposes. Information. Let's see. What was I going to use to run? I have it open on every PC but this one, huh? Yeah, okay, so what's this one? No, that's not the right one. Close this. This is for the mixer. Close that. Then we've got, this is for the tester. And then I guess it's in Discord. Oh, and I need to set up my command. Admin. Copy this one. All these little chores that I got to do before streaming. Wow, my next stream is going to be in a year. No, it's going to be in December 2nd. So deck. 02. I'm going to cough. There you go. Yeah, December 2nd, right? Yeah. This is the 29th. It's really the 29th. Holy shit. Almost like a month without my prescription, huh? I guess it's a detox month for ADHD meds. All right, Stream Projects, which again, Stream Projects is mostly for me to get links between the PCs and allow me to research things. People seem to think it's a place to chat and or joke around, and it's not. It has a very specific purpose, and that's so that I can take stuff that I've researched or done and move it over to somewhere that I can share it from on multiple PCs. So this person has a Flipper Zero sitting in the background, and I guess they wanted a similar menu. Simple menu using Arduino Uno 128 by 64 pixel SSD 1306 OLED display and U8G library. So there's the YouTube videos and stuff. I am just basically going to steal this and make a little thing out of it. I think that should be pretty good. They're neat little displays, these things. Park sensor. I mean, man, I could certainly use one of these little screens in my car with all these features on it. Like a parking sensor. That would be pretty cool. A battery. Maybe a GPS speed. What is it? What? No. Maybe a 16% gauge. You know? Be pretty cool. Maybe I could have a turbo boost gauge in my car. I don't have a turbo. I'll have to get a turbo to have the boost gauge. Maybe I could have a QR code or whatever this is. Cool. Oh, I see. It's GPS speed. Like, not how fast is your GPS. It's how fast are we going based on GPS readings. I see it now. I see it now. It'd be even cooler if I had one of those weird flip-up cup holders that don't really work all that well, because then you could replace the screen with the cup holder, or the cup holder with the screen, and have a little flip-out screen. You'd be like, whoa, cool. We had nothing's working in the Discord. That's not a full sentence. That's somebody's name. That's their screen name is nothing's working. Nothing's working in the Discord is working on one of these things. Which is a little screen in their car that will give them a oil temperature and some other convenience gauges. Man, I would love to have a parking sensor. My car is from the late 90s and just doesn't have that feature. Be nice to have a little beeper. Or this is a pretty cool way of doing it. Although that means that I would have to put something on my bumper. I'd have to find those ultrasonic sensors that you can paint with the automotive paint so that they look like they blend in and figure out where they would be going. You need those ultrasonic sensors. What else is going on? There's not a whole lot going on since the last stream. My brother fell through his attic and hurt his spine. He impacted a disc. And so he wasn't able to actually make it to Thanksgiving. So we have more leftovers than you would possibly ever believe, because we expected to have 2 teenagers here, as well as my nephew, who's apparently gotten tall. But now no family came here because of my brother's spine. So we're inundated with turkey. We have more turkey than you could possibly imagine. It's not really that much, but there is a lot of it. Yeah, hi. I'm going to need a thermal camera because I just want to see where your palm impacts the mouse. You can see that all the spots that are shiny, all the parts that have my hand's grease on it, are the ones that I've touched. That's disgusting. Oh, Incredimike! Incredimike! The incredible Mike. Thank you for subbing for 3 months. Hey, I appreciate that very much indeed. I'm hoping that we can have a nice post-Thanksgiving hangover stream where we just put together a little piece of software and everything works the first time. Everything works the first time. I should start ohming this thing out. That made me nervous. That made me nervous. Just saying that just was enough. How's it going, Incredible Mike? Hope you had a good holiday too. Those of you that are not hedonistic non-Americans, yeah, I had times when I wired this thing up and I was like, oh, I wired it up wrong. And then I'm like, no, wait, no, I didn't. And so after having ripped up all the wiring, I had to put it all back down again. Obnoxious. -12. Oh, ooh, okay, that doesn't go through there. Yeah, I can't do that. I need a yumper. I need a yumper. Where's the yumpers? There's the yumpers. Hold on, I'm gonna get a yumper all the way over here. Yump my way around. So the 3M jumpers fit the high current or the high voltage probes. The problem is, once you do that, it loosens up the internals. And you can bend the internals back out and make them grip again, but they're never quite going to grip square headers the same again. It seems like I should probably just have an adapter to a square header. But then this will get me in here, and then I can do a little power supply testing. We could do a little bit of ohming out in order to figure out that everything's okay or not. So this is an important step, and I am not doing this. Well, I am doing it in front of the camera, but I'm not doing it as part of the official stream. I'm just doing this because I need to do this testing in order to make sure that everything's correct on here. And, you know, I think it will be because we breadboarded out everything and we made sure that everybody's super nice. But yeah, the Super Pokey test leads, they're a blessing and a curse. If you hang your probes on the back of the meter and you have one of these super convenient magnet things, it means that the probes are going to stick up at just the height where you can really poke yourself when holding it by this thing. And these things draw blood. They're little syringes. I mean, geez. But the pokey things are really good at plugging through oxidation. So they're very, very useful. So pin 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is negative VCC, which is -12. So these should all be ohms. Ohms, ohms, ohms. And that concludes everything that -12 is connected to. On to +12. We're not using 5 because only plebs use 5 volts. We're using, wait, does that really go all the way over to there? Because it's 3 rows of ground and then +12. So +12 powers everything. So let's check where +12 is. At the voltage regulator, that's ground. Okay, that's input. Good. So +12 goes in there. It doesn't go to 3 volts. Good. Okay. And then +12 goes to pin 8 of the TL072. Okay. Pin 8. Pin 8. And pin 8. Good. Okay. So that's +12 and -12. And then 3 volts. Wait a minute. What did I do? Yeah, I didn't give these 12 volts. Okay, good. Whew. I thought for a second there that I had put +12 volts. Okay, so now we do a couple grounds. Let's check grounds. Ground is going to go to the Arduino. Oops, the Arduino. Troubling. All these should go to ground. Ground here. Okay. Why are we not grounded? Most definitely. Is there a break in ground somewhere? That's ground. This is ground. This is ground. 1 point something M. Oh, it doesn't connect right there. This is why we do this. That's supposed to connect, but there's a little gap. That's why we probe. Comes up and over, and then that is an open joint, which is not supposed to be. Dun dun dun. This is my buddy from FK Productions, PHL. It's his mix from like a million years ago. It's kind of dark stuff. It's dark tech stuff. Nope. Music to brood to. That's kind of spooky music. Spooky tech house. Ooh. This looks like unsoldered at the end. I don't know what's going on with it. There we go. That looks better. You expect like smooth lines over everything where there's a big blob of solder. Okay, so now when I test from that ground all the way out to the micro, yeah, there we go. Okay, 0.4. So this one, no, this one. No, this one? The one on the end. There we go. There's ground. Okay, now is that correct? Is that labeled G? Yeah, that's a G. Hard to read. These all get ground on the little discs. Around there. Around there. The feedback pin, the positive feedback pin, should also be going to ground. Not. That one's mega ohms. Yeah, one of these pins needs to go to, oh, there it is. Okay, it's all the way on the end. Okay, which means that this one is also going to ground. Good. So this one here. And this one here to ground. We're just checking the power continuity. All the other things probably connect all right. It's just important because, you know, you get it wrong, things blow up. Ground all the way on the end here. No, it's the one in ground. Ground, 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 then here, nope, over here. $300K, what? What's going on with these? They do these wrong? Of course they did the buttons wrong. Oh no, it's not that one. It's these over here actually. These are where these. Oh wait, no, I lost my ground. No, come back. It's gone forever. Gone forever. Let's get this thing going. So this goes to ground. Any ground. And then our buttons are these four. Pins 2 through 4, and those should be nothing, and then when I hit the button it becomes okay. It's not working. I screwed up. I screwed something up. One, 2, 3, and 4. Did I even wire all of them? Weird. Damn it. This one should be a button. So when I push one of these... No, nothing. Okay. Or if I connect here... Why? They should be getting a ground. This should be... It's not getting continuity to ground. Did I not connect something properly or at all? I don't think I connected them to ground. I connected. Oh, oh, I see what happened. I see what happened. No, no, I don't see what happened. Wait a minute. I don't see what happened. Hold on a second. All right, we'll check over the buttons. I screwed up. Just start hammering it until it explodes and there's nothing left on the thing. All right, here's what's gonna go. Here's what's gonna happen. I'm a little lightheaded from being hungover. I'm going to turn the music off, and then we'll get to actually troubleshooting this thing, and then we'll get to programming it. Oh, where am I? Wrong scene. Wrong scene. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Let me. Start soon goes away. And the music. We fade out. How's it going, Dins? How you been? Hope you had a good holiday. Hope everybody who celebrates had a good holiday. Or if you're just pissed off at America, I hope you had a terrible holiday. Okay, so let's get to brass tacks here. I screwed something up with the buttons. The way these buttons work is they're usually cross-wired. So it's like those are connected and those are connected, and when you push the button down, they're all connected to each other. I screwed something up with the way the buttons are wired, and we need to get these buttons working because they are sort of the linchpin of the whole, I don't know, screen system that we're going to set up. So these buttons are right here. These 4 buttons are the up, down, enter, and back buttons. And they're off by a little bit. I probably could have centered them by moving them down a little bit. I didn't really know where this thing would end up in the end. But the way they're wired is I've got 4 wires that are going up, over, and then to the microcontroller pins. Pins 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 2, 3, 4, and 5 are then wired up to all of these dudes. Getting ready to go hunt a Christmas tree with family. Oh, nice. Yeah, we're not doing too many rituals here because the kids would usually be the reason that we would do all the rituals. My brother's kids, but my brother didn't come up because he fell through the attic and broke his spine. He's fine. He just impacted a disc and hit his shoulder against the drywall in the hallway of his upstairs. I can't believe he fell through the attic. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. It's like, oh, okay, I guess that's going on today. I really should have shifted these down just a little bit. But yeah, that means that we had a bunch of people not come for the holiday, so things are a little bit quiet here. So I have all of these wired up to the top pin there. Top pin, and then the pin opposite of the top pin, I have wired to ground. So we can see, I know the pictures are kind of crazy. There's just like a hole in the ceiling that goes up into a void, and then there's his landing. So the way that I've done it is I've got the pins here of the button, and so here's the one that goes out to the microcontroller, and then here's the one that should be grounded. And this one's grounded, and this one's not grounded. Well, that wire is just a little bit short, so I guess that happened. So I need to correct that. Oh, and that's where ground is coming from. So ground is coming from here. It goes across to this one, is what I thought. This one isn't even wired. Did you say smooth moves Xlax? No, I did not. He can, look, if I make fun of him for falling through the ceiling, he'll probably make fun of me for falling down the stairs. So there's a little give and take on that. I'm being the better person here. The point is I'm better. That's really the point. That's the point is I'm better than him in every conceivable way. Okay, so that's a little sloppy, but it is wired. But okay, so bottom of the button, bottom of the button, bottom of the button. Top of the button gets this, which is ground. This leads back to ground. And it looks like everything should be working. So when I check on the pin is not connected to ground, but when I press the button, it should become grounded. Thank you, Unbandit. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. All right, let's see here. So I'm going to check continuity. Winning versus your siblings, one of life's greatest joys. Well, no, it's just a matter of fact that I'm better than him. Oh. Oh wait, was I pushing down on it? Oh, they're wired this way, not crossways. Oh. Well, that means that I've got to either move this whole assembly up. Actually, no, I just have to move the wire up to the top. All right, so that's all we need to do. All right, so I got it wrong. They're not crisscross. But that's an easy rewire. That's an easy rewire. It just requires a little bit of pulling. So I get the tweezers, and I got to find the wire, pull it, and then put it to the other lead, which is further away. So that's actually going to stress all that stuff out. How hard would it be to do it to the other one? Well, see, the ground lines up really nicely with that. What if I pull the buttons and put them down one? No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work, because they would center a little bit better if I moved them just one row over. Or one row this way. That wouldn't work, though. I'm just thinking about how I can get around this. If I move this up on all of them, and then I take this ground, and I would have to move it to... Oh, no, I don't have to move it. Wait a minute. No, no, no. I just have to move this. Okay, so we'll move the wire that's already down on the board. Okay, that's easy enough. That just requires me to... It just requires me to heat up a lot of stuff at once. Where's the tweezers? Okay, so we're going to fix this. This is all part of troubleshooting. It's like when you're building hardware, this is the hardest part, is getting everything working. And so the multimeter is an absolutely just, it's a titan of figuring out where things went wrong. And it only takes checking your power and ground a bunch. You know, if you have signal problems, that's one thing. That will happen occasionally, but the main thing is that you want to make sure that you've nailed power and ground down properly. Because if you don't, that's what kills your circuit. It's what kills your hardware. And then you end up crying. It's just a big mess. It's just a big mess. So you want to make sure that that power and ground is secured and that everything is okay with it. And so for that, you have ohms. Ohms will just tell you whether there's continuity between two of your, between your probes. You want to use ohms. You don't want to use anything but ohms. There's a beeper function. Everybody thinks the beeper function is their best friend. The beeper function will lie to your ass. It will lie to you, and it won't even feel sorry for it. It won't care. It lies. Oh, jeez Christ. I'm just going to do these over. Let me just do them over. I'll just remove all this stuff from them. Let's just get this out of here. We'll just do a do-over. Saving the wire is not something I need to do. Although I did just clean off the desk, and that included a bunch of spools, a bunch of pieces of this wire wrapping wire. But I bought so much of this that, yeah, you don't want to end up ordering more dead microcontrollers because they're getting expensive. That Teensy 4 is like 20, 30 bucks. They're indispensable. That was the word I was looking for earlier. They are indispensable. They are quite amazing pieces of technology, and they're wonderful at doing their job, and you can reverse just about anything digital with them, reverse engineer, because they're so fast. But, you know, you don't want to just casually be buying new ones after blowing them up. I think I blew one up the other day, didn't I? It's just, you just have so much egg on your face when you do that. It's so embarrassing. Oh, the misery. Everybody hates me. They want to be mean to me. Oh, oh, everybody doesn't like me. Maybe I'm an asshole. That song is so dumb. It's so dumb. I'm talking about the League of Legends theme. I started rewatching it because it is a very good cartoon. But that theme song is so like, ugh. It's so teenage angsty. It fits the series quite well because the series is just about everybody getting mad at each other. Yeah, Arcane is what I'm talking about. Everyone's just so mad at each other in that series. They're just all, I don't like you very much. It's like, get over yourselves. Jeez. Would it hurt to just like talk something out? The theme song is the misery itself. Everybody doesn't like me because I'm so cool. It's like, shut up. Shut your stupid mouth, you fucking asshole. I'm getting a piece of wire right now, which requires me to reach up and around and over to this spool over here. There we go. Piece of wire obtained. It's like, I don't know, it's not a bad song. It's just the theme of the song is just so dumb. Everybody's mean to me. Oh. You know, if you're surrounded by assholes, maybe you're an asshole, because not everybody is an asshole. So we're going from the top row because I once again, I got the switches wrong. The orientation of the switches. I always get this wrong. I got it wrong on the VCO project, the voltage controlled oscillator. I got that wrong. And then here I took a guess without the multimeter and I got it wrong. Every time I take a guess with the multimeter, I get it wrong. Great show. Just started watching season 2. Ah, nice. I just finished season 2 and I'm rewatching because I really kind of want to get a feel for it. You know, sometimes people call me an influencer, and being a critic of media is part of the job. I can actually business expense my Netflix account if I talk about this stuff on air, which is not really my primary goal. My primary goal is just I like discussing media, but I like to at least have somewhat of a formed opinion of it, and so a rewatch is often desirable just to get things that I've missed. But one of the things I do is I overconsume the media, and then I go through the subreddit and find all the contexts and all the little things that I missed along the way. And yeah, that's part of my media diet. It's 50-50, which means you'll get it wrong 90% of the time. What's up with those odds? I mean, like, there have been times when in games, for instance, you guys know games? Do you ever play games? Yeah, so sometimes I play games. And in games, sometimes you're required to figure out how to get back to a location, to go from one place to the other. I'm looking for my knife right now. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Sometimes you need to kind of remember. You've heard of games. Okay, good. Yeah, sometimes you're required to kind of go from one place to another. And part of that task requires you to remember where you've been and how to get back to where you've been. I'm really bad at that. I'm really bad at it. I'm like really exceptionally bad at it, to the point where in some games, I have to think about the way that I would go normally. Like, okay, I kind of remember this. I'll go this way. And then go the other way. If it's a 50-50 choice on the direction to go, I go in opposition to where I think that I should go. And I end up going the right way. Yeah, without Google Maps, I would still be in the wilderness somewhere. Yes, even though I have lived here for 10 years, I still don't know the good back roads to get to and from different locations. I'm that bad. Do I use any learning techniques like, I don't know what Phanom is. I don't know what that is. I don't really. All I do, in order to get the big blood draws that I get, where they have to stick a giant needle in my arm and take a bunch of my blood, and then they throw it out, what I'll do is I will start doing multiplication tables of 7, because I'm bad at multiplying by 7. I'm bad at that. So I do that, and then it distracts my brain so that I can withstand quite an uncomfortable amount of pain. That's my little disassociation technique. The previous technique was to count the dots in the ceiling tiles, but I find the 7s are more reliable in terms of distracting me. Yeah, it's 7, 14, 50, 20. Like, I intentionally have not learned my 7s just because it's a very powerful technique to disassociate with pain. So yeah, and then in turn, I'm very bad at remembering routes. Remembering visual routes is very useful for me. I don't know how anybody can have a mind palace. I'm a very visual sort of learner. I have a very good pictorial memory to the degree where if I like drive by roadkill, I will remember that in perpetuity. So if I could do the Mind Palace thing, I might have quite a powerful memory on my hands, but I don't know. That's trauma. Okay, well, yeah, I guess so. I think this whole concept of multiplying by 7, you're not supposed to be good at it. Yeah, well, but the thing is, like, if you, every time you have, like, medical pain, you do your multiplications by 7, all of a sudden, you're going to be really good at multiplying by 7 in a very traumatic situation. Oh my God, he got hit by a car. The answer's 142. Everybody looks at you. I don't know. I'm gonna get shot and I'm gonna be like, I can do any math. What do you need to know? It's not a car. Okay, so we'll do this and we'll connect to a ground right there. And then we'll ground our probe. And then we go to pins 2, 3, 4, and 5. So pin 2 is actually right, where is it? Any math? No, not any math, no. If you do easy to do math, you're not gonna disassociate. You wanna get in your head, is the whole thing. I wanna be in my head, in my lane thriving. No, I wanna be in my head almost entirely so that I am able to ignore something like uncomfortable pain. Okay? Because there's nothing I can do about the pain. There's nothing. All you can do is tolerate it. So what I'm doing is I'm hitting the probe on the pin. We see there's a bunch of ohms, and then I push the button, and it goes down to half an ohm. So on the pin, press the button, and we're down. So it's pins 2, 3, 4, and 5 are our button pins, and now they work. I believe you have solved N versus NP and other things, but I feel you. It's like that professor who got his PhD because they assigned an impossible problem on the homework, and he just wrote it down without paying attention and went home and did his homework, and he was like, oh, that's how you solve that. And then comes in with the answer, and it's like, oh, you get a PhD. Nobody's ever been able to solve that. If you ever see Bother spinning multiples of 7, call an ambulance. I didn't even feel my arm go numb. I just started to do times tables. Okay, so that does it for checking over power and checking over, well, the only thing left would be the 3-volt lines. We can check for 3 volts real quick. So 3 volts is coming out of the regulator on the tab, because it's an LM1117. And then 3 volts goes to this pin. No, that's the wrong pin. This pin. Oh, okay. Uh-oh. That's an oopsie. That's an oopsie. Do we not? Okay, something's up. Let's check continuity on our 3-volt line here. Ohms. Okay, so something isn't connecting at the regulator. I may not have connected the big supply to everybody. And then, let's see, there'll be this one. Yep. And then here. Okay, 3 volts gets to everybody, but it doesn't come from the regulator. I dislike when they can't solve it and they say it's unsolvable. That's a skill issue. This can't be solved. Have you tried? Maybe you're just bad. So up here needs to be connected to that right there, and I guess I never jumped up and connected it. Although this goes to the pin right below it. Oh, the misery. That song's going to be stuck in my head for a month. Everybody's mean to me. Oh, that pin right there needs to be connected to this pin right here. Okay, easily solved. Actually, do we have a current limiter would be good. Are you going to help me build a new CPU GPU combo? I can't think of anything less exciting than putting together a computer. I'm sorry. Cooling a computer is a whole lot of fun to me, but all these computer people who are into putting together the perfect computer, and it's like, you just buy the parts and you put them together. Like, just buy stuff that's sanctioned to work together. There's not a lot to it anymore. I've been a computer builder for a long, long time, and it's just not that exciting. It's not that cool and fun. It's these people, they get in their own heads and they start researching every single fleeting little boring facet about a computer and its technology, and it's like, computers are at a point where you can just kind of buy something and it's fine. You know? It's fine. Sick of Intel and NVIDIA. It's ancient tech. Well, yeah, whatever. I got AMD stuff for my latest build, and I've been an AMD fanboy since the early 2000s, year 2000-ish. Well, before that, actually. I think at the late 90s is when I was an Intel fan, or an AMD fanboy, just because it was slightly more budget, and you could eke more out of it for more bang for your buck. All I like about the computer building is the number of fans. I know, it's all this hardware, it just sucks. It's not that special anymore. They've learned how to eke every single cycle out of these things to the degree where there's no point in overclocking anymore. All I want to do is come up with a cool water system. I don't mean like temperature cool. I mean like wears sunglasses at night cool. Water system that's going to carry all of the little boobles all around and make sure that all of my silicon lasts longer because its heat cycling is less extreme. That's all there is to computers now. There's not a lot to cars either. All of my hobbies are getting conscripted by stuff. That's fine because I made my hobby into a job. Welcome to my jobby. You're not supposed to have fun at a job, and here we are. So, all right, so our buttons work. Everything works except for one little last jump of the 3 volts. Now, should I put something in there like one of those little temperature thingies where when it gets hot, it'll break the circuit? I don't know if I have any. I've kind of used all the ones that I had. We should buy some PTCs. Let's look them up. Go to Amazon.com. This is where I get all my dildos. And we look up SMD PTC. And that's not an SMD PTC. What are you trying to sell me here, guy? 50 pieces, 1210 PTC resettable, 30 volt, 0.2 amp. So 200 milliamps. That's a pretty good, 200 milliamps is going to break most of your normal stuff. So maybe we'll go with that one. It's $10. Yeah, let's do that. I'll just, December 5th. Oh, fastest delivery is December 5th. Otherwise, it's the 16th. Is there anything that's prime? Ah, yes. The reputable brand Chanzon. Or Dian. 4,500 pieces. SMD chip resistor. No. 0805 resistor kit. 0 to 10, 60, 20. How did PTC come up on this search? Okay, so none of these. SMD reset. Ew. Settable fuse. What's up, Blue Smoke Monster? We're trying to prevent you from infiltrating my life. So I'm getting some resettable fuses for later projects. We'll just jumper over this thing for now. I could put a 0 ohm resistor there just as a hey, what's up, Disco House Days? Happy Thanksgiving. That's my cousin. Disco House Days. SMD fuse, 63 volts, 2 amps. 2 amps is a little bit much for these little things. Only you can prevent the Blue Smoke Monster from getting you. Yes. Well, we got to keep the smoke inside of this stuff, and I'm trying to get these in somewhat of a normal. Oh, look at those. Those are little resettable automotive fuses. I should get those. $33. Why are you so expensive? December 17th? Are you kidding me? These are just fuses. I'm not looking for just fuses. This is my only option, and it's a 2-day, but it's 2 amps. 2 amps is a bit much. Just got home when it's getting light outside, but it's fully light outside right now. Get it? Time zones. This is where I'd put a studio applause noise if I had one. I don't have one. I don't have the soundboard over here. Soundboard's on the other computer. So I do the sounds for gaming. I really could use I mean, Tom Thinks does it. You go, ah, and then you hit the button and it goes studio applause, and then you let go of the button, it stops remotely. Yeah, I need that and crickets and stuff. I would put sound effects onto the Stream Deck, like another Stream Deck. It would be good if I had like sound effects on this one, and then I had the XL here to do all of my camera work, because that way I'm, you know, boop, 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 and then I can do all the punchy comedy bits like this. I could also do this, the second camera that would get even closer and just be like a little tiny piece of my face. The damn SMD fuse is the first thing I blow on boards. That's the point of it. That's why it's there. That isn't working. You're saying the damn thing always, but that's the purpose of the fuse. No fart sounds. We're working on the no fart sounds. I mentioned your thing earlier, by the way, because we're doing a thing with the screen, and what came up with screens was the GitHub project that I'm going to use, the Arduino menu. And this thing apparently has a lot of automotive uses. For some reason, the Flipper Zero is also featured. But like dashboard for fart sensor, turbo gauge, all that stuff is like in here, and it's got some pretty good looking menus. Xmas Lite debugging stream. Listen, I don't know what you'd want your involvement to be, but learning how to troubleshoot with a multimeter is an important skill. And if you use the ohms function, you can get a sense for how long. Well, no, that doesn't really work. You need RF in order to do that. So we have to get the high level sort of, what are they called? The system analyzer things, those really expensive ones, so that we can send a wave down the line and its reflection can be measured, and we can then tell how far away the break in the line is. Want to get a Flipper Zero to make a deauthorization device? My neighbor, I have a cool neighbor. My neighbor comes up to me one day and he goes, hey, I got one of these Flipper Zeros. I'm like, cool, I wanted to buy one, but they rejected my credit card because they said it was a shady purchase. They didn't let me buy it. And so I kind of slept on the Flipper Zero for a while. Then he comes to me and he goes, here, this thing is collecting dust. Maybe you can find a use for it. I'm like, all right, I'll report back to you. Flipper doesn't have Wi-Fi. No, but there's a board you can plug in. It's just the Wi-Fi board. And people make little low-profile Wi-Fi boards too. It's like 20, 30 bucks. So you'd have to buy that separately. But yeah, so now I have a Flipper Zero. And he said, oh, keep it. I bought another one. Like, cool, thanks. Like, hey, that's cool. So now I have a Flipper Zero. The other night, I spent all night loading it up with stuff. And so now I have all of the Amiibo. I have a bunch of some British guy's signals, including gas station sign, takeover stuff. But I don't really know what to do with it. You gotta build it? The Wi-Fi board and stuff just came built, but you need to get you need to get all the software on it. So it's like a really good universal remote, apparently. I still need to put TV remote stuff in it. And what I want to do, when I'm walking the dog, I need to set it to scan, so that when people go in and out of their garages, I can get their garage codes. Not that I'm going to do anything with it. Like, that's all I can do with it. Didn't seem that interesting to me when it first launched. There's some things in there that seem like they could be useful. I do wish it had a microphone so that I could use it as a tuner. You can have it output a note, but not read a note and tell me whether or not it's on, like on key. But yeah, it does have its limitations. There's not that much you can do with it. You can open the Tesla's battery door and it'll close again after a little bit. And the Tesla driver has to be in the vicinity. So if they're in like a shop, you can open their battery door. Not within a few, I mean, maybe, but you would be in horrible violation of the FCC if you boosted a 433 megahertz signal. That's very, very illegal. You do not want to get caught doing that. I already have a Proxmark 3 to work with RFID. There's also the Onagachi, which is a Raspberry Pi Zero-W device, Raspberry Pi Zero-W, and an e-paper display, and you can have an Onagachi, which is just a Wi-Fi infiltrator that's based on AI. So it uses AI principles in order to figure out how to get its spindly little fingers into your Wi-Fi and figure out what the passcode is, basically. I just use it for my RFID stuff, like tap into the train with it and smirk at people looking at me weird. Yeah. The problem is people know what it looks like. They know what it looks like. But on the train, I would have wanted to use that on we've got a local train here that leads into the city, and I would love to use that in order to figure out what signals are fluttering around the train stuff. That would be a lot of fun. Do you know anything about NGAD fighter? No, no, I don't know anything about that. Okay, yeah, so here's the screen program that we're going to use in order to make our screen do stuff. We need to get this into our Arduino IDE so that we can begin programming with it. In addition to this, we also am going to need, hold on, let me move that to another window. This is why I never have PTCs, is because we always go to order them and then I don't actually get them. We're also going to need PJRC audio tools. Blah, blah, blah. Audio system design tool. This thing is really cool, and I don't know why it remembered what we were doing with it last, but basically, I'm just giving all of these signals to I2S, and that's it. It just does it. It's pretty cool. What about an Easy Bake Oven? I got a 40-watt light bulb. How about you? I got to move the fan. I'm starting to sweat. One sec. I got to go over here. I got to move this thing and move this fan. It gets sweaty. I'm used to having a breeze. I always have to exist within a breeze. I got to have air flowing on me. Okay. So, yeah, what we're going to try to do... Oh, my mic cables. Why is it tight? What we're going to try to do is get this thing that I built running. So this is just a 6-output audio engine that will output to Eurorack specified voltages. So we've got the Arduino. We've got the 3 2-channel audio things. I added a screen and a couple buttons. So we want to get the screens and the buttons to allow us to adjust things. The 91% humidity and in the 80s during mornings. Oh God, I hate it when it's that hot in the morning because you know it's going to be an awful day. This may come as a surprise, but I'm a huge fat guy. And so I don't like it when it gets hot out. I like this weather. It's in the 40s, the 40s Fahrenheit here, which is cold for this season. And I'm loving it. I'm going outside in this, just like this. And everybody's out there in like puffy coats and stuff, and their dogs are cold. And I'm like, ah, the beautiful wilderness. Yeah, that's right. You were up there in Maine. Yeah, in the snow and ice. This is like, people in Philly wear shorts up until the first snow. But the thing is, this neighborhood is full of filthy Floridians who are snowbirds. Now I get sunburned walking outside for 30 minutes. Yeah. The problem is the body adjusting to stuff. It takes, what, 3 weeks for you to adjust to an extreme climate change? I don't understand people who like warm weather. I just don't get it. Same bother? Yeah. It's, I don't know. I'm so much more comfortable in cold weather. So we have I2S out, but we don't have 2 channels because those 2 channels are on channel B, and channel B is only accessible by soldering a wire underneath the microcontroller. So I'm using only the channels that I can get to, which gives us 6 channels of audio output. Now I was just going to make this a dummy device and just have the microcontroller and have these configurable by software. We would have been done this in 30 minutes. But like I say, any project worth doing should scare you a little bit. And so we're incorporating a screen and the ability to configure the output. That is going to be a stepping stone into the module testing module that will live up here. It won't be a board like this, but it'll function almost just like it. This one, I have potentiometers so that we can adjust the amplification stages and get them to be within spec. They're going to drift out of spec pretty quickly, to be honest, because none of this is temperature compensated. So these will drift out of spec slightly and then majorly, you know, as time goes on, and it would need to be recalibrated using the multimeter. So using a multimeter or the oscilloscope. So the solution to that on the big module tester is that there are voltage sources. I've got these little boards here. Well, they're not going to be on little boards, but they're little kind of Zener diode-like things. They're a little bit more complicated than Zener diode, and they output a specific voltage. So using the switching devices that I have in abundance from an old project from the late 90s, using these digital switching devices, we can drop 10 volts on each of the lines and calibrate it digitally. So that's what the main module tester is going to be. Before we get there, we can get our feet wet. I guess a little bit, doing the screen. So all I want is a very simple menu. I just want to initially display what all 6 of the channels are doing. And then when you hit a button, it'll select one of the channels, and you can select up, you can select down. Then if you select the channel, you hit OK. That selects the channel. If I want to unselect it, I hit back. But if I hit OK, selects the channel, up and down to go through 4 items: waveform, amplitude, frequency. 3 items: waveform, amplitude, frequency. Maybe OK is the 4th? No, because OK will just be going back. So you change the waveform and amplitude, you hit OK on whatever you want, and you hit up and down to go up and down on the value. That's it. That's it. That's all we're doing. Yeah, you know what? We should probably build something to test this. So let's get some stuff here. We'll start with a microcontroller. Let's do like an RP2040, and then we'll make something that can receive. So that's this. So we'll receive the waveform using that, and we can put it on a display. So we need a display. I have round displays around here somewhere. Let's get a round display for this. No, the buck stops here. This is the one that'll let us build the mixer, and then we can build the module testing module, and we'll have all of these little pieces of information from all the other builds. Too deep. We've gone too deep. This is too much. We've dug too greedily. Let's start up Arduino. ARD. Arduino. I'm using the old IDE just because I guess I like it. I guess I like it. I guess I'm just a sucker for punishment. So this project, Arduino OLED menu from Upir. Would I like a new IDE? Nah. I do need to upgrade this, but the other one had problems the last time I tried it. So we're using just the simple, easy peasy, lemon squeezy Arduino IDE. This is like Notepad with some minor context highlights. And our programming language is Arduino. People are going to come in because they see programming and they have to immediately assert that they know something about programming. So people will come into this show and they'll go, hey, bother, something complicated. And it's like, shut up. Like, shut the fuck up. I don't care for that. We keep things simple. We see rock, we smash with other rock. And the reason we do that is for accessibility. We want users to come in and know what's going on. It helps me troubleshoot things. We've had times when people would submit code, and famously, I have these users who know their microcontrollers, because in the past we've done a lot of stuff with microcontroller coding. It's been like a year since I've done like hardcore microcontrollers, and I'm excited to get back into it a little bit. But we've done some really hardcore microcontroller programming on this channel, and those hardcore microcontroller people who go on Twitch and look for other people programming microcontrollers and then want to weigh in and comment on it. Oh boy, when they try to tell you how to do something, or like, bother, you doing it wrong, you should do it this way. The stuff that they code with is so fundamentally confusing. I think they're used to working on systems that don't have the kind of overhead that can run sort of almost human readable code. I like my human readable code, but these people are doing stuff with like regex that'll just curdle your milk. It just boils you. I don't know. I instantly just flash vaporize and all my skin's gone. It's so stupid to program that way. I don't program so that people don't understand what I'm doing. Might be too advanced. I don't think it'll be too advanced. This stuff is really easy that we're doing today. The complicated issue I'm resolving, my vector tables got mangled. I don't know what you do with vector tables. I guess you just have a bunch of vectors to multiply at. They aren't being updated in the firmware I uploaded, so I had to manually set one to have the code to run after Man, it's yeah. There's some weird stuff out there, huh? We don't use assembly. We use Arduino IDE. Arduino is sort of like C++. It's sort of like C++. It sort of is context-y, but it's a little bit more microcontrol-y. It's just one of those things. So this is what we use. I guess we're starting a new project. No. I'm going to save this as the module tester. Of course, my IDE is so full of crap right now that it takes it that long to open up a new project. All right. So this is, I think graphite is this color scheme. Save as. This one is going in, not the Arduino folder. Goes in project, stream, and we'll just make this one actually new folder. You need permission to perform this action. You son of a bitch! Ah, damn it. All right, so am I even going to be able to save into here? I'm having permission issues because Windows SMB share is cursed. Synth. And we'll just put it in here. Module tester. Nope, I don't have permission. All right, going on the desktop. That's really annoying. I wish I could do something else with that. So let's see what this project is. Simple menu using Arduino Uno, 128 by 64, SSD 1306, OLED display, and UAG library. So it's just basically making a nice little menu where you can put stuff. Simple menu using blah, 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 blah. The menu is inspired by the menu from Flipper Zero. Ah, I see. Why would you include pictures of the Flipper Zero in your stuff? Yeah, we know it's inspired by it, but I mean, why not just mention that and not include the picture? I know it's like product placement, but this person might have nothing to do with the Flipper Zero. Still, let's see. Links from the video. Flipper Zero, WoW key starter, image 2, whatever. What is all this? This is just all the related media. So let's go down here. See what we got. What is it like to program for? I think this should be pretty functional. I think we should be able to use this nicely. I'm getting this in regard to thinking about the module testing module. What am I going to use to drive graphics on the vacuum fluorescent display? I'm not totally sure this thing can handle the vacuum fluorescent display, but it is a start into getting all the visuals together. This may be a lot. This seems to be a lot. All right, so I guess all the stuff is up here. I know PSD and okay, so let's try to find this, a simple menu. In the library management. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, I always forget where it is. Include library, manage libraries. This will eventually pull up a menu. I'm not wearing a watch. Bro, my IDE is kind of suffering a little bit. It's not in great shape. Oh boy. We haven't booted Arduino in a while either. Oh, the mystery. Everybody's mean to me. I know that's not how the song goes. Oh, I'm miserable. Everybody's mean to me. My enemies. Song is so stupid. Okay, simple I2C OLED. Oh, it's searching. Oh, it's searching. Oh, it's trying. It's doing its best. Come on, little IDE, you can do it. Oh, Jesus Christ. AceWire, Adafruit, HT20. I can't scroll the lists. It's currently frozen. There it goes. Denny app, Easy OLED UI, from Victor Julio. What does Victor Julio have? This library enables make UI simple mess. This is not as good. I want this. I want the one with all the pictures. Hold on. Control Shift T. Come back here. Oh no, that's not the right one. Where'd the? There it is. So we want to look for the one from up here. Up here. 1-bit LED from Larry Bank. Okay, so this guy's not on the like libraries. What's up, Landed? How do I get this? This one from Victor Julio, Turkish Technology Team Foundation. What? T3. I spelled everything right. Simple OLED. All right, so I just have to remember how to get stuff into. Oh my God, I've got so many windows open. I have so many windows open. I would like to get started with this. Welcome. Here, how to use my product. Thank you for downloading. How do I get it into my IDE? Oh, is this the different IDE? Oh no, this is a like painter thing. What are you using? Now we're gonna do closed captions. So, what are you actually using for this? Photopea. I don't really know if I need Photopea. I've got GIMP. What are you trying to figure out here? What we're going to make it, oh, the misery. Sorry, I got a song stuck in my head. It's kind of hellish. All right, I don't know what he's doing here, and I haven't watched these tutorial videos. I see. So he's dividing it, and he's making the graphics, and they're all image-based. Okay, that's with Photopea. Sorry. There's not much to the song. That's the problem. So, all right. So what we want to do is make a similar menu to this. But first, I need to actually get the stuff. So I guess what I want to do is just download this. We'll just download the whole folder. I thought we could install it as a library, but it's not on the libraries. Can I search by creator? Can I do up here? UPIR? Up infrared? The old IDE isn't exactly incredibly functional. Yeah, and then the project is very creatively just called Simple OLED Library, so that's not helping me either. Arduino OLED menu. Let's try that. We'll try it with underscores next. Was he singing the Witch Doctor song from the Chipmunks original cartoon movie? You know, I saw the Witch Doctor singing ooh ee ooh ah ah ting tang walla walla bing bang. Is that the one? He told me what to do. He said, I have that one on cassette. I think I do have that on cassette somewhere as well. Nope, nope. Nope, neither of these are the one I wanted to use. Victor Julio, no, that's not it. You flooded my brain with memories. Listen, if you want to make any song a Chipmunks song, just fucking pitch it up till it's dead. Who's adding me on? No, that's an announcement. All right, so what about with underscores? Arduino OLED menu. Okay, it's going to take a half an hour for this to get on there. It's so slow. I think I need to upgrade the IDE. What is going on here? Why are you so slow? Arduino underscore OLED underscore menu. Please. It's still searching. Don't get your hopes up, kid. Oh, it's the same things. Okay, so whatever, we'll just take it from here. So in the downloads, I gotta clean this one out too. Should probably just delete everything, but what the heck? Which one is it? Oh my god. Hold on. I'm trying to get my stuff together here. This one, and then there it is. Okay. That's an easier view. OLED menu main, OLED menu, INO PSD. Is that a Photoshop file? Might be. U8G2, huh? All right, VS Code. This is all media. I mean, that's what attracted me to the project, but let's see what opening up the file looks like. Very speedy IDE here going on, you know? Very, very quick. Oh, yes, put it inside it, even though it's already in a main folder. Just go ahead and put it in a sketch folder. This is another wall of links. Jeez. So it's using the U8G2, what is it, SSD 1306 library. So let's see, we may need to get that. I'm not sure. I probably already have it because I already have a bunch of those screens in a bin. Let's just see. So tools, library, oh no, sketch library, manage. The library manager window should still be open. No, it's not. Okay, gotta make sure. And we're looking for U8G2. I just dribbled water on my shirt, like I'm kind of an idiot. I'm not even thinking about raster images right now. What I'm looking for is a framework for a menu system that I can take over. Oh my God. Every time. Come on, man. We've just done this. There we go. U8. Is there an underscore in that? U8G2. Oops, I hit the wrong key. Not U8F. Oh my God, the typing speed is terrible. Whenever you're ready, you can do it. I believe in you. Oh my God. Emos UX gem. Russian text U8G. T menu, TC menu. All right, what is this guy using? Oh my God, why is this like pulling teeth? U8G versus U8G2. Flipper 0, WoW key, image to CPP, 120 by 64 SSD LED display, transparent OLED display, Arduino Uno Mini, big OLED. Jeez, what the heck, man? U8G fonts available for the U8G library, U8G documentation, Utopia, image to whatever, C code, push buttons, LCD displays. Oh my God. Jeez, this guy's using a lot of stuff. I was hoping we could just like throw up a library and that would be done, but LCD image converter, those seem like good tools though, actually. Related videos, parking sensors, car cluster, it's all car stuff, but okay, so u8g2lib.h. Now we're looking for u8g2lib. Is it the one by Oliver? U8G2, there's nothing lib. L-I-B. I want to make sure that I'm just using the same library as this person. And this calls for U8G2 lib. What library is this? Fonts. Control F, library. Fonts available for U8G library. So U8G. Oh, U8G. Is that the wrong? Lord, I feel lost. We'll figure this out. Just give me a second to flail. I need my flailing time. So U8G library. U8G library. I know I typed it. There it is. Everything else has to catch up. Graphical multi-level menu. LCD menu library. See, they don't specify which one it is. There's a bunch. This one is enormous. It has like everything in it. Maybe that's the right one. U8G2. E-ink, display, everything. Just every single freaking screen is on this. Unless it's something that's already installed. That's just the store menu. The store link. Big OLED display, Arduino, U8G fonts, documentation. This is Wiki, USE reference, Edward Hobbs. That's just commands and stuff. C++ Arduino, UN8T, in. Okay, so this is just a bitmap, draw box. All right, let's try this one. Let's try like a hello world for it and see what we get. If we can just get the LCD to work, and then we'll circle back on the other project that I found and see if that'll be of any help to us. I clicked on that thing because it seemed like it might be simple. It has that sort of graphical nature of everything that I kind of want out of this, where I can just have the different channels and everything on there. It's just they are not starting from the very beginning. They're like, I use the library that they don't even do that. They're just like, I used the library, and I'm like, there's 5. There's like 5 in the Arduino IDE. Which one am I supposed to use? So what we can do is we can go to the thing we just installed, and I can go to examples, which are very important in Arduino, and we can go all the way down here, and we can look at this new library that I installed that I don't know what it's called. Now, I have had this IDE for like 6 years. There's a lot of stuff that's in here. There's a lot of stuff, so I don't know where it is. U8G2, U8G2 lib. I know I didn't install 2, but now I have 2. Okay. All right, well, I guess that's it. Bitmap, chess, console, FPS, graphics test, hello world. That's all I want out of my display. I want a hello world. And we wait. We wait for my IDE to open something because my IDE is stupid. What's my glucose level doing? I'm probably in the mid 300s by now. I had a big lunch. Yeah, big post-Thanksgiving Day lunch, huh? Everybody's supposed to be like unable to move today. What do you suggest that I give? 7 grams of carbohydrates. There's no way I'm giving 7 grams of carbohydrates. Guess what you get? You get 10 units of insulin because I'm coasting in the 300s. If you guys want to see my glucose level, it is publicly available. There's the overlay. This is what my glucose level is doing right now. It has gone up to 350 and it has stayed there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to inject myself with some insulin. I'm going to tell this thing, don't record or don't bolus, record only 10 units. Click OK, click OK. Then I'm going to go get a syringe and do the unthinkable. Or the very thinkable if you're familiar with diabetes, which is just simply inject myself with some insulin. Not a big deal, but, you know, maybe one day I'll get banned for doing it on camera. I chuckle when I say that. I don't know if I have enough of a grassroots movement to get Twitch in trouble if I get banned for injecting insulin on the job, on camera. So we draw air to replace the insulin that we're about to draw out of the tube, the vial. And then I draw 10 units. I'm going to give myself a little bit more than 10. I'm going to be a little aggressive with this. And, I mean, there's a bit of a bubble in there. I could be really kind of like a stickler about getting the bubble out, but I don't really think the bubble's going to be a big deal. I can inject anywhere on camera, pretty much. I never do forearm. That's stupid. But let's just go into the limb here. Oh, wait, no. That's my insulin pump. Never mind. Insulin pump's right there. So we'll just go right here. Boop. I don't count down. I don't anticipate at all. It's better that you're just shocked by it suddenly. Sometimes they hurt, but most of the time it feels like nothing. It feels like nothing at all, nothing at all, nothing at all. Because these are subcutaneous. They're very small needles, and they're very small gauge to them. A friend of mine's dad is an anesthesiologist, and he always gets patients that are like, I'm a little squeamish around needles. And his bedside manner is second to none. He goes, too bad, and then just sticks them. Which I appreciate. I appreciate that. I wouldn't be able to be diabetic. I don't like needles. Well, then you'd die. The alternative is dying. I don't think you'd go that far. All right, so oh, look at all these things. What the hell is our display? How do I know what you are? I think we're just U8G. Look at all these things. What are you? I'm not going to be able to find the store page for this thing. Okay, we're 0x78. And we have J3, which I don't know what the jumpers do. Let's take a look at like an about U8G. We have all these links here, so we might as well use them. So this is an AliExpress link, and it leads us to original 0.96 inch OLED. This is pretty much looks like what we have. White, blue, yellow OLED module. These displays are nice. I mean, they look very professional. For Arduino, what's the jumper on the back? They don't say. They don't say what the jumper on the back is. Okay, cool. Cool. Neato. Bonk. Oh, we didn't want to close that. Transparent OLED display. That's kind of cool. I don't really know what I do with something like that, though. Yes, I said bonk when I closed it. Uno Minnow, transparent, blah, 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 image 2, C++. WowKey start project progress bar. No. Flipper Zero's menu, big OLED display. Breadboard, fonts, documentation, UHEV documentation. Here we go. That's probably a little bit better. Although this is code documentation. I'm looking for the physical stuff, but I guess we don't get that. Oh, there's some cool stuff in here, though. Very useful things for some pretty low-level programming on the screen. I want to avoid all this. I kind of want to avoid all this. I don't know what the jumper is. There's specifications that I need that we're not getting. U8G display. Blah, blah, blah. No. Stack Exchange, GitHub. EV blog? Maybe EV? No, that's this. Yeah, I'm looking for the hardware. I mean, okay, let's just guess. We'll make guesses. We'll make educated guesses. What does this one use? U8G2. This is U8G library, not U8G2. U8G2R0. Which one did we open up? We opened up Hello World, but let's just check on our examples. We have U8G2 and U8G lib. I guess we're going to U8G2 8 by 8 page buffer, MUI, full buffer. What the heck? Okay, here's the Hello World for the full buffer examples. Maybe we'll try that. This was off U8G, but we want the library that's a little bit more relevant to us. There we go. Hello World.ino, Universal 8-bit graphics library, blah, 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 blah. IFDEF, hardware SPI, Arduino U8G2 lib. Okay, so we're on the right track. Oh, I see. Wire or SPI. If we do wire or, so we're going to do, I mean, we're doing SPI, wire rather. We're doing I2C. And I don't know which one we have. I guess SSD 1306. We actually have a screen from my old, from a glucometer that uses these types of thing too. SSD, not HD. SSD 1306. 128 by 64 sounds right. We'll try it. 128 by 160. 48. 16. Where's 128 by 64? 240. Control F. 128 by 64. It's all the way down here. No name, F hardware, I2C. U8G2 SSD 128 by 64. Adafruit. Raystar. This is a big list. We'll just search for whatever this thing is using. We probably should just upload this and see what happens, but I'm just going to look for this. Copy that. F this. Go. There it is. There it is. There she is. All the way up near the top. No name, hardware I2C, U8G2, R0, 8x8 pin none. I don't know what that means. R0, full frame buffer size, 120, they're 1024 bytes. All the arrays below are generated from images using ImageMagick. Scroll down to see the actual code. These are all generated with ImageMagick. And those are bitmap icons. So we're going to try to get Hello World working. We're not going to deal with the reset. We just uncomment. This is just for the frame buffer. Okay. So going all the way down here. Oh my God. This is a big example with just a lot of different types of screen in it. Oh my God. All right. U8G2 begin. Clear buffer. Select font. Draw it 010. Hello World. Hello World, and then send buffer, delay, etc. Okay, so where is this going? Where is it sending this? I guess it's sending it on the default pins. U8 by 8 pin underscore none. U8G2R0. Does that just mean it's on which I2C? There's multiple I2Cs on this Arduino. So where does that mean it's sending it? I guess maybe we could just trust it to go to the right place. Let's just see what happens when. Yeah, the I2C default, does that mean I2C 0? How many plaids do I have? 6, I think. 6 or 7. I need more. I need more. I need more because I run out. I run out at the end of the week. These are the ones that are compatible with jeans. I have a blue one that I can't wear with jeans. And then I have 2 tan ones that I can't wear with khakis. One for each day of the week. A little more. No, you want a little more than that. I have regular shirts too, kind of. They're kind of plaid-y. Listen, I've been complimented about my plaids by Rob Oz, and he's a Swede. So he knows his plaids. I guess you're from Maine. You know your plaids too. Everybody knows them. Okay, so this is connected to I2C0, so it's possible that we could just load this up with Hello World and it'll work. I hate that UG demo. Yeah, just want to support everything. It's hard to figure out what you really need. Well, the thing is, like, I'm buying the most basic one too, and it's up there at the top of the examples. You don't need all that stuff. It's just for some reason they make this code base like super universal. It gets very confusing. These kinds of things are like difficult to work with. They're not impossible, but they kind of obfuscate. But then again, like menu systems are kind of universal. So that having that as like a plug-in piece and being able to rewrite somebody else's code so that it fits your menu system is really nice to be able to do. And this is my first foray into this. This is why it's so clunky, is because I haven't done this before. If I had done it before, like all YouTube tutorials, I've got a beef with YouTube tutorials because they never show the part that you just saw, which was me flailing around looking for the stuff that's going to get me to this goal. When you watch these YouTube tutorials, they know what they're trying to teach you. They know what they're going to do. And so they go, oh, you do this, then you do this, then you do this, then you do this. And I'm like, I go into these tutorials and I'm like, wait, I want to do something ever so slightly different than what they did. How do I do that? And so this is how it works. You start, you flail around, you find this massive universal library that has all these examples in it, and you find somebody's specific example for their menu, and you sort of smash it all together until you get it all working. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to plug in the Teensy 4.0. The Teensy 4.0 is an extremely powerful microcontroller. The reason that I have this Teensy 4.0 in this very simplistic project is that no matter what I need to do, this will be able to do it. This has 4 channels of I2S, which is like I2C, but for audio. And it's 4 channels, each do a left and a right channel. Oh yeah, so Disco House, we had Dave here yesterday for Turkey Day. My brother couldn't make it because he fell through the ceiling and hurt his shoulder and spine. Otherwise we would have had more people. But one of my uncles came over, the one that isn't represented in by either of us. He's doing fine. He's just very weird. Okay, so we're gonna get the 4 buttons doing something. Let's see Hello World on this thing. Basically, you want to use a very powerful microcontroller for your initial test. And since this is a test board for test boards, I am using just the most powerful thing I can get my hands on. So let's plug this thing in and let's get some code running into it. Yeah, you follow the tutorial to the T. Well, actually, following the tutorial to the T is kind of a bad expression because the T in tutorial, I mean, there's multiples, but the T is the first thing in tutorial. So if you follow the tutorial to the T, are you just following the very first part of the tutorial? Whereas the phrase following it to the T means that you are crossing your T's and dotting your I's. But you always say cross your T's first. So if you're following something to the T, does that mean you're not checking to see if you dotted your I's? That doesn't sound very good. That's not Crescent Fresh. I'm looking for programming cables. I've got them in this drawer here. Or do I? Where are my freaking USB? Hello? Am I taking crazy pills? No, none of that stuff's the right stuff. I had a cable around here that was meant for programming stuff. All of this stuff. Usually dot my T's and cross my I's. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that'll get you there. All right, hold on. Oops, not that one. I wanted the spring arm. There we go. Yeah, I want more of my camera functions to be on the Stream Deck, and that way I can direct a little bit better than clicking the screen. Easier if you've got a big button that's illuminated that says, do this thing. You're like, okay, face cam. Got it. Punch it. Oh, you know what? I grabbed it to charge something that was USB. So I think it's right here. Here it is. This is an insulin pump charging cable that I use to program stuff. What about the lowercase? Yeah, the lowercase j's are left completely out of this. My enemies. Hey, away. Why do you watch this bother guy? He's just making noises now. Is that the Arcane theme? Fucking song. Now, if I plug this in, actually, if I plug this in, but I take out the audio stuff, so these use a lot of current, and they'll overwhelm USB, which is why I have 3 volts coming from a larger LM1117. The LM1117 is like a jelly bean part. In most actual products, you'll find people using cheaper voltage regulators. The LM1117 is just a really good example of a voltage regulator that just kind of like does its job. It's a switching regulator, low dropout, I think. And you can buy different flavors that are set to different voltages, or you can get a universal voltage regulator that's tuned with a resistor. That's all under the blanket of LM1117. All of the audio nerds use it on their products because what you have is, even if your circuit is 5 volts, typically your power plug only has positive and negative 12 volts. So the LM1117 can take in 12 volts pretty much standard, and it will give you that 3 volts, 3.3 volts, or 5 volts that the rest of your circuit can use in order to function. So what we're doing is we've got power coming in on 12 volts. I also have the other power header here, which has 5 volts on it, but I'm not using it. I have 3 volts coming in, or sorry, 12 volts coming into the regulator, 3 volts going out of the regulator, that goes to the 3 volt side of the Arduino and powers it, that goes to the screen, and it goes to the 3 audio drivers, which all use 3 volts. These actually have a charge pump within them, which allows them to go to positive and negative 3 volts around ground. How does that work? I don't know. So hold on. Typically, when you charge a coil and you remove the charge from the coil, there is a lingering magnetic field that dissipates. And when you have a changing magnetic field in the presence of a coil, that induces current, and it induces a strong negative current. You then take that and you put it into something like a capacitor, and you can store the current in between pulses. So you hit it with a square wave, and you get a strong negative pulse coming out of there, and you smooth the pulse out with caps, and then you've got a source of negative voltage that you can use in order to drive something from positive to negative under, only 3 volts. So that's apparently what this chip does. It just does that. But the problem is that chip takes up a lot of current. So I am removing those 3, and now we are just, our 3 volt system only consists of the Arduino and the screen. Arduino can punch a couple hundred milliamps out. Or at least the Paul Stoffrigan's Teensy 4 board can punch out quite a bit of current on that 3 volt line, but it's not a limitless supply. So we found that with these 3 plugged in, it doesn't really work. So I have to plug in a separate power source when we get to that part. So, okay, plug in the Teensy. That doesn't feel right. That plug does not feel right. And then let's check to see if we're recognized over here. So under our board, we see Teensy 4, COM port, port 4, serial, Teensy 4. Okay, so we're all set up. The Teensy's plugged in and it's raring to go. Let's hello world it. So I'm going to hit, just make sure. Teensy 4, serial, 600 megahertz, faster, US English, blah, 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 blah. Port is still port 4. Okay, cool. So now we're ready to save and upload our program. It's probably going to be like, I can't save it. But this will compile. It's going to take a while to compile the first time. The AVR Dude IDE is very good at, or compiler rather, the AVR Dude compiler basically looks for changes, so it doesn't have to fully compile everything every time. But that first compiling is a doozy. And since we're using like the Big Daddy microcontroller, it's got room for anything we can throw at it. This thing, we're going to be using like 0.5% of this microcontroller to run this code, even if this code is completely unoptimized. Dear God, it's taking a long time. Okay, well, Maybe sometime in the future we'll see this little guy say "Hello World" on it. Need like compiler vision. Any minute now, this thing will scream to life and say "Hello World." Totally, it'll totally do that. There it goes, programming, and nothing. Cool. Well, that was fun. Did everybody else have fun? I had fun. Reset again. Reboot. Okay. Okay. Next step, turn on the scope. Turn on the scope. Call the Pope. We're going to check to see that it's outputting on the right parts. We'll check SDA and SCL. The second thing is, do I need a pull-up resistor? I2C requires a pull-up resistor, but sometimes it doesn't. Let's see. So we want PJRCs, wire guide, 2 signals, SDA, SCL, normally 4.7 pull-up resistors connected between each signal and power, 3.3 on TNC, 5 on TNC 2.0, TNC 2, 4.0, and 4.1. The weak internal pull-up resistors may be sufficient for short wires to a single device. Well, that's exactly what we have. So it's possible wire begin or wire begin address. Begin using the wire in slave mode where you respond at address where other I2C masters chip included. No, that's not what we're doing. Transmitting wire begin transmission thing, end transmission, receiving address, pin configuration. Wire set SDA, configure the pin used for data. We don't need to do that. We're using just the regular old wire. And wire 1, 2, and 3 are the other ones. Adafruit SSD 1306. Oh, look, it's exactly what we're doing. For libraries where one does not provide a way to configure which port, no. Wire 1, wire 2, and then the example program is I2C EEPROM. Wire begin, serial begin, loop, blah, 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 blah. What about TNC 3 and 4 using no resistors? I guess that it'll just do it. TNC 3.0, 3.6 requires pull-ups. The on-chip pull-ups are not used. And then TNC 4 wires on pins 18 and 19. If we look at pins 18 and 19, over here, those are the ones that we're using. Is it getting warm? It's getting a little warm. So this should absolutely be chooching away. It should be telling us, hello, world. So the only other thing that I can think would happen is if I mixed them up. Let's put the scope on the screen and see what's going on. Oh, it is on the screen. Oh, it's right there. Oh, it's right there. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'll move this out of the way. This thing's getting in the way. I'm going to put this somewhere else. Eventually, this is going to be my fully featured testing suite. But obviously, from what you can see here today, it's got a ways to go. We got a ways to go with this thing. But we'll get there. It's ready when it's ready. We like it that way. All right, so get the yellow wire. Plug that into the yellow trace. Turn off 2 and 3. Get our trigger menu up. Set our triggers to set our trigger to channel 1. Hello? Source. I'm poking the screen. This is the problem with touch controls. I think I have to recalibrate my touch controls. Try opening it again. I think touch is off by a little bit. 0 volts. Channel. Come on, man. I can't change the value. Well, I guess I could open it up on the internet and then change it that way, but honestly, like, where's... what do I use to control... Nope, those are other controls. Nope, now it's on hold off. Let's just permanently hold off. And then that one's a level. But the channel appears not to be... Hold on, I'm just figuring out how to use my scope. Okay, so that actually touch function worked. I can hit the Xbox, but I can't hit channel, source channel. This is weird. I'm sitting here. Okay, you guys, let's just put this over here like this so you can see. Channel. How about this menu? I got to get into this menu in order to calibrate the touchscreen. Come on, man. You got to help me out on this one. Is there multi-touch? I think there might be. What's wrong with you, man? You used to be cool. Huh, weird. Okay, so how do I get the highlight menu? I haven't learned how to operate the scope properly. Nope, that's not it. So what is the control where... That's leveled, then I've got horizontal and vertical position controls. Those are just working in the background. How do I select an item using the... This is our first yak, huh? Analysis menu, trigger menu. I can close the menu with a little bit of trouble. Open that up. If I click on Edge, it highlights for a split second. Is it? Okay, hold on. I'm going to stand up. It might be that I'm wearing a mic. Maybe that's confusing the touch screen. Is it a capacitive touch screen? I could be messing with it that way. Nah, something's up. Something's weird with this. So I'm going to open up the intranet site where this resides, which means I got to close it down over here. But I'm going to copy the 192.168.2.223 is what it's locked into. There we go. And then I want it on channel 1, but most of all, I want my touch screen back. So going into this menu, utility. Oh, maybe I need to do a software update. Let's do a software update on the scope, I guess. Great, this is going to be great. I love updating the software on my scope. It's always something, huh? So we got to figure out why we're not pumping out the right I2C. That should be easy enough to do. To do that, the scope is really going to be very useful. I can take a look at the two digital pins, the SDA and the SCL. I can figure out if I wired them wrong, if I wired the wrong one to the wrong one. It's likely that I did that, and all we have to do is just swap the wires, which is kind of hard to do in the soldered setup, but once we get it right, it's right, and we don't need to correct it again. That's all I can really think it would be. We're not powering anything else with 3 volts. Yeah. And it is just a screen and some buttons. I love it when there's no progress bar and we're just sort of sitting here with the thing twiddling our thumbs. That's when the boss comes over and goes, "Why aren't you freaking working, you slacker?" And then he throws a coffee can at your head and donk, and you're like, "Ah!" And you start crying, and then everybody's laughing at you. And you are just the lazy slacker who's sitting there waiting for a little scroll bar to complete its path in a circle. I wasn't playing Snake on my scope. Some of the HP scopes, the older ones that use CRT displays from like the late 80s, early 90s, they have a boot up mode where you hold down a button and it goes into either brick out or Snake. Brick out or Snake, and you can play using the actual scope controls. So it looks like to a boss, it looks like you're actually using your scope, although it's a little weird for somebody to go up to a scope and just tweak the knobs a bunch without actually doing anything. Scopes are to be looked at, not constantly adjusted. It did not save a leaderboard, though. I would have been on it. What the hell am I supposed to do while we're... this is the worst upgrade. Maybe they upgraded this. Maybe that's what we're downloading an upgrade to. Maybe they upgraded this process. I would hope so, anyway. Damn it, this is boring. Just waiting on a stupid scroll bar. See what the announcement is over here. It's probably like, happy holidays. Oh no, somebody's just on early. Weird. Come on, buddy. Let's go. Yeah, I hit upgrade and this thing has access to the internet, I think. I don't think I put up any policies about this thing not accessing the internet. And we have gigabyte internet here. So we've got fiber all the way to the house. I mean, this thing's looking at signals right now, so maybe I can just use it in the meantime. So I'll just plug this thing into, I guess, ground using the power supply plug. The plug thing. And then hook this up to ground. So stripe is negative, and then all three of those rows are grounds. So now our scope is connected to ground. We can see our signal in the background. They're stabilized. So on SDA and SCL, what do we got? I see. There was a packet. There's a packet. There's a packet. What are we plugged into? Hold on. Yeah. Where's the mouse? Oh, it's on the wrong screen. And then can we bring the scope in? Boop. This should be clock. Burp. There it is. This should be data. Should be data. Oh, I saw something. Here, let's move the trigger up a little bit. Expand it. And hit single trigger. It didn't work. Oh, it didn't grab single. Single. Oh, those controls don't work. Good. Oh, we did capture. Oh, God, we captured something very ugly. So we'll keep capturing. Okay, there we got something. So now we zoom in on it. This would be really cool if, like, this were, you know, visible. That's very fast indeed. Of course, we were looking at timing via audio signals, and audio signals are very slow. So this is, this shouldn't be up at the upper limit of what this scope can display. I think maybe just in that zoomed out mode, it's capturing so much data that this came in kind of rough. But, okay, so that looks like data. That definitely looks like data. So that is the correct signal. Let's just make sure that clock looks like a clock. Enemy, way away. Stupid song. Stupid song! Get out of my head. That doesn't really look like a clock, does it? But it is pretty regular. Clocks don't look like that. Dot, dot, dash, dot, dot, dash. But it is pretty regular, and maybe it's just the signals running into each other at that high speed. Is this scope really that low speed? Maybe I need to, like, unlock the software or something to get it to be a little faster. I don't think they do those shenanigans anymore where they don't capture stuff properly. That's clock, and then this should be data. Data shouldn't look very regular. Oops. Data should look like data. That looks like a clock. Looks like a clock. If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck and it squawks like a turtle, wait a minute. Okay, so I think its clock and data are flipped. So let's turn this thing off, and I'm going to flip the wires, which just means flipping 18 and 19, which should be color coordinated. They're color coordinated in a weird way. So white wire is apparently... Oh, maybe I'll flip them right here. That might be a lot easier. The white wire goes to clock, and that would be pin 18. And then double checking with the PJRC page. Oh, I want to keep that up. Data. Okay, I didn't even follow my own instructions. This is messed up. This is messed up. Way away. I feel like in the future, whenever I have an SDA and an SCL, or a TX and an RX, I should just install 2 jumpers and make it so that if I put the jumpers horizontal, it's one orientation, and if I put them vertical, it's the other. Oh, the mystery. Oh, the misery. Everybody hates me. I'm miserable. The song. It's so stupid. They hate us because they ain't us. Hold on, I gotta cough. Oh no, my Stream Deck froze. Hold on. Why does my Stream Deck freeze? This whole computer is cursed. We need to rebuild the front of this computer. Hey, what's up, Caribou Spain? CUP? I do CUP. Sorry, I couldn't mute because my Stream Deck froze. This whole computer seems to be going a little bit slowly. I don't know what's going on with that. The Arduino IDE finally exacting its revenge upon me. So the white wire is data. Data goes to the outside. There. Here. Motion detected at the front door. Oh, my chat froze. That's why I don't see you guys. Even my chat froze. What's good? What in the world is going on with this computer? It's like it doesn't have a lot of resources. There's that one. Chips. Yeah, indeed. Ended up in the ER over a tooth that became an abscess. Nasty. His chat is frozen. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I didn't see you guys. That OLED will take every bit of 5 volts. Didn't catch what you were powering it with. I have 3.3 volts. They're not that power hungry. No, I just flipped SDA and SCL, which is like the most predictable thing you could possibly do. Hi, I'll get to you guys in just a sec. Let me finish doing this repair. I can't move my hand because the wires will fall under, and then I'll catch up with you guys. I didn't know my chat was moving. I thought I was just streaming to myself, which is a skill. When you start out streaming, unless you get real lucky, you're going to have 0 people watching. And so Part of streaming is being able to stream to nobody. And so for the past half hour, I've been going on my own little rants without chat. Not about you guys. Sometimes I just got to do things. Ow, that got really hot. A little bit of solder. A little bit of solder for those pins. Over the turkey day, I basically barely interacted with anybody, and I sat down here building this up because it's my homework. And now that I've got it all built up, we can get it to actually start functioning. What is going on with this update? Yeah, no, you need to be able to talk to yourself and be entertaining to others as you do so. All right, TX and RX. Let's check the soldering. Not great, but it's good enough. It's 6, really, it already went up to 60? The scope update is really annoying me. I don't think the scope would be using up that much, like, resource, but why are you not updating? What is going on with that thing? I guess we've got no choice but to leave it up. What if I hit the Xbox? Nothing. Oh, there it goes. The only way that I can interface with the scope is through the internet. Web identification indicator. Beep, beep, beep. That's pretty funny. Web control. Don't do that. I actually probably already have it open. Oh my God, there's so many windows open. What the hell's going on here? Something weird. Okay, close that. Open it up again. Go here. Upgrade. Back where we were. I've eaten half a pan of triple chocolate brownies while watching you. That is, I don't endorse that behavior. Definitely don't endorse that. My glucose level's already 400. I can't. All right, plug this thing back in. It was simply SDA and SCL were flipped. I'll fully catch up with chat in just a second here. I just want actual stuff to happen on camera, you know? All right, I'm going to close the web interface. Maybe that's what's keeping it from updating. Or maybe it just does this forever. Jeez. Okay. What should happen is I plug this in, and then I get Hello World. Let's put it on the microscope. Plug it in already. You shut your mouth. My show. I get to say what happens. Where's the, there it is. Okay, yeah, let's do this. Hello world. Hello world. It's a little flickery, but it's got a nice font to it. But yeah, there we go. That's all it takes to run a screen is you just uncomment the correct line, and it says hello world. Can't really spell correctly, but these little screens are great. So this one has a yellow screen. I bought yellow and I think white. But the yellows are nice. They've got kind of a little bit of a retro yellow look to them. We're not done yet. We need to get a menu on this thing. Okay, so I am caught up. Is you in Morse? Huh? CUP. What's up, brother in chat? This chat is frozen. Yes, it was for a little bit. I think it's back now. No, this one isn't back. That needs to be refreshed. Chat overlay. Properties. Refresh. Cache. This happens now and again. Is when my computer's doing a lot of stuff. It tends to kind of glitch in a way. I wonder if it's like trying to update over Wi-Fi and unable to do it. Why are you playing? Okay. I think Chrome decided to park a bunch of pages. So, okay, so back to Arduino. And we need to look at the menu things. We got Hello World working, which means that our hardware is properly set up. I guess, what do I need to declare at the beginning of this thing? Arduino.h and u8g2lib.h? Well, let's look at this program. We're basing it off of this program. So, don't need you at the moment. We need you, and then blink we do not need. Let's bring this up, and so this is, I got like part sheets in the way and all kinds of stuff getting in the way here. Okay, so everything out of the way. Documentation, module, mixer, testing, module, tester, module. Yaks have gone fractal. So let's get rid of some of this. Teensy 4.0. Everything get out of my way. Jeez. I can't operate anything with all this stuff on the bench. Teensy 4.0. U8C. What was it called? U8C or U8G? U8G. G128 by 64 generic OLED on I2C. 4 buttons. Up, down, forward, back. I2S, A, C, and D. And those have pins already assigned to them. 4 buttons, up, down, forward, back, and then it's on 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I forgot. My ergonomics are a little bit bad for typing here. We can make them slightly better. I had my full the full 10 keyless over here for a little while, and I got too used to it. This is my dinky little minimized. Plus minus 10 volt. Menu system. And then Teensy Audio and menu system. From Teensy Audio, we'll get a link. Menu system will get a link. Whenever I share this project, whoever decides to take up the buck after my untimely death will be able to reference what I referenced and figure out what I know. Bonk. And then the audio system is where? Okay, cool. So we're all set up to start programming. So we need to set up our pins. How do I program again? I'm just opening up another project, so I've got a little bit of a reminder of what's going on, because it's going to be pins. There's libs. It'll be like library setup stuff. Setup. Oops. Tiny keyboard. loop. And then functions. Oops. Funcs. I put the functions after the loop. A lot of people will put stuff ahead. Setup is fine. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Some people will put those ahead of the loop because if they're not declared, the IDE hates it. I do it the other way around just because that's how I learned it. It's probably better to put them up above, but I just don't. It doesn't look right to me. I don't really need this. I've already gotten it all into the proper form, I think. Yeah, the way that I normally do. Do stuff. Settings is actually forgot. Okay, cool. That's all our stuff. U82glib. And then the very first thing is includes. And then this would be the declaration. So I'm actually going to take that and put that, take the whole line. We'll put it all the way down here with the library stuff. So we've got all the like images, I guess, right? 3D cube, battery, dashboard, fireworks, GPS speed, knob over OLED, park sensor, bitmap icon tubro, park sensor tubro. So these are the icons, the little pictures that go ahead of the text. And then array of all the bitmaps for convenience, okay? Screenshot 3D cube. Is that just a static 3D cube? I thought it was going to actually do something with the pixels. Fireworks. Oh my God. Okay, I get it. Boy, you should probably put these on a separate page. These would be good in like a second page so I could just look at your code. How useful is this going to be? I mean, this guy said simple menu, so we're hoping to rebuild our own simple menu. But you've got all this progmem loaded up ahead of your, oh man, that really should be a separate page. So we've got character menu, number of items, item length, menu items, 3D cube, battery, dashboard, that's the text, turbo gauge, tubro, define button up pin, button select, button down, demo pin. Okay, button up clicked is equal to 0. They're using integers for this. I'm tempted to use the bounce menu for this. I think the bounce 2 rather would be really good with this, because then you just update your bouncer every loop, and then you can extract these values without using something like an int in there. It's a little bit, maybe a little bit more complicated than what I just described, but let's open up bounce 2 and let's get this stuff running in in bounce 2. Pin for demo mode. Where to use the switcher wire to enable or disable demo mode. I don't really need demo mode. Note, when changing the order of items above, make sure the other arrays referencing bitmaps also have the same order. That is annoying as hell. That is very, very annoying. Two, three, four. Pin 5. No demos. Button up clicked, button down clicked. So we can already start to kind of overwrite this. include bounce 2.h. Why is it highlighting like that? I don't like that. File examples, bounce 2 is somewhere in here. Oh my God, it's buried deep. Bounce 2, where is bounce 2? Bounce. Bounce. Change, duration, edge, rebounce. Just regular old bounce. It's going to take a while for the IDE to open it up. Did my chats freeze again? No, it's just nobody's talking. Welcome to Programming Streams, where nothing happens. Here it is. Is this bounce 2 or is this bounce? I forget. Examples. There's bounce. Digital display. Those are the baked-in ones. Teensy. Serial and a bunch of stuff there. Adafruit, Bridge, Explorer, Fermata, Stepper, retired. Ace, Excel Stepper, no. Adafruit. ArtNet Audio, Bounce. They are in alphabetical order. So it's only Bounce that I got. So I guess that's Bounce 2. Unless, oh, no, there's Bounce 2. Bounce Basic, Bounce Button, more. Bounce Current, Previous. Bounce More, Bounce 2, Change, Retrigger. Let's do Bounce Basic and close this before I get confused. A lot of time to just sit here and think while things are opening. Oh, here we go. Oh, U8G2lib.h. Oh, wait, no, this is my program. Wait a minute, I'm getting confused. There, here we go. I was like, oh, that's funny. They're using the screen during the... No, we're using bounce 2. Bounce 2.h. And then define bounce pin. Bounce 1 through 4. Well, we're defining them like that here, so define LED pin. Bounce equals bounce equals bounce equals bounce. Wait a minute. Dude, how do I do this multiples? Go back to the examples. Let's find one with multiples. Examples. Bounce 2. Bounce button. Previous duration. Current duration. Blink toggle. Bounce TWO. Maybe that's the one. I want to see how to do multiple buttons. Any minute now. There it is. Button pin 1, button pin 2. Bounce to bouncer 1, bounce to bouncer 2. Bounce 1 is equal to bounce. Bounce 1, bounce 2, bounce 3, and bounce 4. Initiate a bounces objects. Bounce 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 instances of bounce. It seems kind of inefficient. Debouncer 1, attach button pin 1. Do we really need 4 debouncers for the buttons? Is that... I guess that's what we're supposed to do. But in the setup... Okay, so setup, we do the pin mode. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. Which one am I on? This is in Bounce Basic. Oops. Keep writing code in places I shouldn't be writing code. We want Bounce 2, and I want to close Bounce Basic. And we want this, so now we are in, I guess, pins and settings. Well, okay. Setup there, and then we don't do that in setup. We do that ahead of this. So we do this in libraries, I guess. I guess those should be up against the rails. bounces there, and then pin mode. Oh my God, I can't type. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pin mode. Button up. Input pull up. Button select. Input pull up. Button down. Input pull up. Button back. Input pull up. So that sets up our 4 buttons with the resistors on them, the internal resistors on them, to 3.3 volts so that we get a high or low signal depending on whether or not the button's pressed. All these microcontrollers now have this feature. It's actually kind of wonderful because it makes setting up buttons a matter of just stringing a wire over to a button and then connecting the button to ground. It makes things so much easier. So the pins, now we bounce up and down. Bounce for 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. One, 2, 3, 4. And actually just bounce 1, 2, 3, and 4. I hit insert. I didn't hit insert. That's just okay. Bounce 1, bounce 2, bounce 3, and bounce 4. Bounce 1, 2, 3, 4. Bounce 1, attach, bounce, attach, attach, attach. Okay. Button up. Button up. Button select. Button select. Button down. And then button back. I probably should order them a little bit better than that, but whatever. Okay, so we've got bounce 1 through 4, and then interval of 5. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually up here in settings. I'm going to do define button bounce in milliseconds. And we'll make that 5. Button BNC. It's dynamite. So this is going to be that. And then we'll take this, make 4 of them. Oh, damn it. Well, whatever. We just grab this. Bounce 1. Setting up all of our instances, it's a chore. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's just going to give them all the same time delay for bouncing. Hey, what's up, Gonad? What you building? Well, I builded a board. I builded a board. And this board is for testing modular synthesizer stuff. So we have a screen on the board, and I've got 4 buttons, that's going to be the challenge. The challenge of this thing is to get this thing to do more than just say, hello, world, and maybe have a better frame rate than that. Right now, this thing says, hello, world, and I've got a couple buttons up above it that are connected to pins. So once we get this whole thing together, oh, that wire went all AWOL. Get back in here. The TX and RX were swapped. This took us a little while to get going. But once we get this whole thing going, I will be able to test modules, test the mixer with 4 unique signals, and then I've got the rest of this thing to help me test other kinds of signals. But what I basically want to do is use a basic menu so that I can select the channels and then set up their functions inside of the software. If I wanted to get this thing working and I wanted to get multiple outputs. I could do that right now just using the Arduino or the Teensy audio engine. That would be very easy for me to do. But what I'd really like to do is just set up the screen, and that's going to give me an idea of what it's going to take for me to set up a control interface for the module testing module. The thing that I've been sort of burning to build are one of our sponsored AutoCAD projects is that testing module and getting all that hardware together so I can make a PCB and order the PCB and know that I have the software ready to go for it. But yeah, this is sort of a first step. This is how to make something a configurable outputter. This thing isn't up to date. Sorry, chat's very slow right now, and my tools are freezing. Does anybody still build open source mutable instrument stuff? I built one a couple months ago, 6 to 8 months ago. I think the SMT32s were hard to get through COVID, but I did the open source module tester and it works great. Yeah, so I didn't want to just buy the mutable instruments module tester because I can do better. I can do better than mutable instruments. I don't have the music know-it-all, but I do have the know-it-all know-it-all, and I am a know-it-all. No, I can do the I can do tests and like test equipment really well. And so what I want to do is have this thing able to configure itself better than the mutable instrument thing did. This looks very professional. I thought I was watching a YouTube video. Well, thank you. That's a good compliment because YouTube videos get to actually edit their shit, and I don't. But yeah, we're putting together a Hello World board that's going to sort of be my first foray into having a functional screen using these 4 buttons up top. And then once we have that working, I'm going to be able to make a slightly different interface for the module testing module. That's going to be something else entirely. But when the module testing module boots up, it's going to have reference voltages that it's able to tune itself to. And it'll be able to attempt to use the audio output, the I2S audio output, to achieve those voltage levels and sort of adjust itself. And so I always know if I boot that thing up, I can get a frequency in and I know I'm getting the right frequency, and I can get a voltage in and I know I'm getting the right voltage to within a degree of accuracy that I think is good for testing these things. But in the meantime, before we get that big, because that project is an entire bite out of the hoagie. So in the meantime, we start small and we sort of work our way up with our Hello World. But yeah, this is the only thing that's plugged into the Arduino. The LED screens might be a little bit hungry, but I don't know them to take the full brunt of what the Arduino is putting out in 3 volts. I mean, this looks really good. I love these screens. These screens are very smart looking. They've got very, very nice text. Oh, the is misery. Everybody hates me. Excuse me, you spelled hello right. I know, we're not all perfect. We're not all perfect. Okay, so what I've been doing is I've been pulling elements over from other examples. Bounce 2, the version that bounces on your boy's dick, that version, Bounce 2, I love. It's kind of obsolete, but it's a nice, easy bounce engine that'll help you get your bouncing done. Basically, what happens when you hit a button on the microsecond scale, so basically the time delineation that your microcontroller understands, the time between steps being in sub-microsecond timing. In sub-microsecond world, when I'm going to push down on that button, I have this huge string of meat that's actually putting pressure down on my wet bones in order to press that button in. And when it overcomes the force of the spring it doesn't just instantly give way. It doesn't just instantly slap down, even if it does, because some springs give and then they require less force. But on the microsecond scale, that dome is collapsing in on your contacts, and when it hits with force, and that force is reflected back on it through molecular bonding or whatever the fuck. So what happens is your signal into your non-meat space computer ends up being ba 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 ba. And so that ba 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 has a duration of a couple microseconds. You can see it on the scope. It goes ba 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 ba. So when you get that signal in, your software might interpret it as being multiple clicks. This happens on certain SteelSeries mice too. The SteelSeries mouse will wear away, the scroll wheel will wear away the button head that is supposed to be the click function to the point where it barely engages it, and it gets it to be in such a precise interface that it is at the point where the electrical contact is in a state of contacting and not contacting. So when you singularly click your center click, Like let's say I want to open up a link in a web browser window. Suddenly your SteelSeries mouse thinks you've clicked it 78 times. I had this happen once. You click center click and 55 windows open up on your computer. It's because they've allowed a plastic on plastic interface inside of this thing. And when the plastic and plastic start scissoring like that, they make a lot of friction and they eventually machine each other down to the point where if you replace the button, it's not going to fix your problem. It's very, very annoying. And I don't know why I keep buying SteelSeries mice. I'm chasing the dragon of the old Microsoft mouse. I loved that mouse. It really changed how you browse stuff on your computer back in the early days of like AOL and shit. It was an optical mouse that had 2 buttons on the side and was shaped roughly like this. 0 evidence. 2. Wait a minute. What happened? What happened to 0 evidence? 1. You get caught? Thank you for the sub. I really appreciate it. That's very nice of you. That's a 2-month streak. Hell yeah, brother. So over here, we're pulling elements of Bounce 2 in here, and I am slowly populating my program so that it works with Bounce 2. They're not using Bounce 2 in the example, but examples are to be loosely followed. What's up, Kavorka? Where to find transistor ferrite sleeves? Or are they per package? I'm building stock and want all the supplies on hand. I don't know what you mean. Ferrite transfer sleeves. I don't know what that is. No, I don't know what that is. I mean, you can buy click-on ferrites that go around cables, or you can buy the toroidal discs that you would run something through a couple times. As far as sleeves, I'm not quite sure what you're talking. If you mean the thing that clips on, that's like an Amazon thing. That's pretty much where I'd get it. I'd look up like clip-on ferrite. Created this first one assuming that the 0 was taken. I was making a joke. The ferrite bead sleeve, they go between the pin of a transistor pin. Oh, from like going from an input to an output, or do you need a specific value coil? Those are all, I mean, typically I source that stuff off of Amazon because I have an Amazon fulfillment warehouse practically halfway up my butt. We pretty much sit on one here. We're very close to it. So if I order something, I can almost get it overnight sometimes. Although those are now going to like the marketplace and you never know if stuff's coming from China, in which case you have to wait a little while. That's when I would go to DigiKey and get something like that. Push over, no clip. Maybe the correct thing isn't really being communicated properly. For some reason, my computer keeps shutting down all the windows that are open. Oh, we need to buy those PTCs. I'm just gonna buy I'm gonna buy the 2 amp ones, even though 2 amps is pretty bad. It should probably be a couple hundred milliamps. Half an amp, 24 volt. And the ones, you know what? No, I'm gonna buy the one that takes longer to get here. The one that we found originally. 50 pieces, 1210, 30 volt, 200 milliamp. That'll be good because in the lower voltages, it'll be able to have higher currents go through. And it's only $10, but it does get here in the middle of the month. So place that order. You guys aren't allowed to see any of this. Couldn't find it on DigiKey. There are parts like surface mount chips that are ferrite beads. I'm not sure, man. I don't know. Most of the designs that I've seen, aside from Thrustmaster uses ferrite beads on all their ins and outs. That's why they're a good joystick. The other ones that I found, like on mutable instruments, there are no ferrites on the ins and outs. There are anti-static electricity capacitors on everything, but that part was also obsolete on DigiKey. So I thought you'd feature one a few weeks back. I do not remember. To be clear, very, very publicly on the chat that appears on screen right there, the reason for any burner accounts I have is to keep my family from knowing I watch mukbang. Nothing else to hide. Those mukbangers have a lot to hide, though. Nikocado Avocado had 1 year of uploads under his sleeve. It was his wizard sleeve. It was incredible. He pulled one over on all of us. Set up the second button. Same thing. Yeah, okay, so we've got all that. We've got the button attach, pin mode, button attach, interval. So now we're ready to debounce. So every loop of our main program, we want to update the debouncers. And each individual bouncer has its own little engine. So what I want to do, oh, we still need to do this. Okay, so we need to assign each of the pins like this. And I probably could have called the bouncer like select pin bouncer, but we're dealing with them all in a group anyway. So now what we can do is instead of doing interval, we can just do here in our loop, we're gonna bounce. Oh, God. That I had a burger for lunch because I'm an American. I'm an American, and I had a burger for lunch. And it's causing me much hiccuping. Zero evidence was a prime. Those primes are awesome because there's no reminder. So all I need to do is hit update on these. I don't need all this other text in here. Okay, let's get rid of hello world. Back over to here. All right, so we don't need any of this stuff. All I need to do is update. And what update does is it checks to see whether or not a bounce event has occurred. And so now that those have been updated, we would have some kind of a, well, hold on, update, get the value, turn on the LED. So value 1, value 2, instead, button up, button down, button whatever. That's how this engine is doing it. So now we need to take all these integers and we need to bring them into our variables section. And what we'll do is we'll make another page for all of those logos that it wants, and instead put our own logos in there. But our own logos, I mean, ours are going to be simple. It's going to be the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Also a burger lover. I guess it's okay to love what you love. We'll try not to judge on this channel. Variables, bang. Variables, buttons. Actually, yeah, we should take this away. This will only be for big headers. So I'll just keep it like this, and that'll be easier to browse everything. Okay. Now, our loop should be much more simplistic. I am a firm believer in the structuring of Arduino programs, a firm believer in the simplicity. I believe in the simplicity and the kindness of strangers. You got to keep things really, really super simple because whoever's reading your code is already angry. They're already mad that they're reading your code. So you want to just kind of very gently usher them through the functionality of your program. I've seen programs that would curdle milk. They would spoil your britches. You want to make sure that your loop is only a very simplistic skeleton work of what everyone else is doing. You can make a lot of functions occur in the looping of your program, but your program should be like a little kid explaining a movie. This happens, and then 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 this happens. And then when you go into the this happens and this happens, it's, well, because this is going on, this happens, and then we change this. And then this happens. Oh, but this is actually doing this and this, and it's looking at this. It gets slightly more complicated as we go through our functions. We have functions, sub-functions, and double sub-under functions. That's sort of the structure that I try to keep things in, so that when you sit down, with a pot of coffee, and you're going, who the fuck wrote this code? You go through and you go, okay, oh, it's doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the main things that this program does. I've seen a lot of code that doesn't do that, and professional code. Well, not professional. We work with a lot of open source projects, so a lot of big open source projects don't do that, and it really bugs me. Yeah, you're already mad when you sit down to read it. That's just how how this stuff works. Like, I mean, you know, so you want to make sure that you're not riling somebody up to the point of doing something they regret, just through how belligerent your code is being. So I like to keep big comments on things, but mainly in my loop, I want it to be things happen. So even this, I might have like update bouncers. And then we go down here and our function is updates the bouncers. And then it's void update bouncers. We're not going to do like a return one. I think that's unnecessary. But this would just like clean up your loop. What did I do? What happened here? Oh, it gave me that bracket already. Oh, and then we need these. Boop. Bonk, 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 bonk. And if you're super basic, if you don't really know microcontrollers, this is how we do things. You make a little function. I've declared it as void because I don't expect anything to return. If I expected to check if I should update the bouncers, then maybe I could have it return something if they're of a particular value. But in this case, every time we loop, we just update the bouncers. So first we read stuff, then we do stuff. So I could even organize this: read stuff, do stuff, depending on how I feel like organizing things. And this would be something like, you know, update waveforms. And then that would look at the settings and update the waveforms depending on how they're set. And then we would have default waveform settings. So I might as well set that up right now. So in variables, eat more turkey. I've eaten plenty of turkey. Int channel 1. You know, I could set them up as objects or whatever. What is that called again? Where you have properties of a thing. So channel 1 would have 4 things to it. Oh, that was a subscription message. Hey, Veet Nukem, thank you for the Prime for 34 months. That's a lot of Prime. Holy crap. 34 months. Veet Nukem, thank you very much. Hate turkey. Why? Maybe you just haven't had the right kind of turkey. Yeah, no, but there's more. Instead of setting them all up as individual variables, I could set them up kind of like the bounce library does, where I do like something equals something something. What was that again? I used to know how to do all kinds of stuff like that, where I could set it up as having like properties, and then I could check on the properties, and then that could be a channel setup. What was that? Where do we use that? Oh God, I don't even remember. I don't remember. I'd have to look up how to do that because I've forgotten so much about coding. It's like properties. Classes, object-oriented programming. Yeah. Not quite, not quite. Man, all right, whatever. I'm not going to do that. We'll just set them up as individual. We've already got so many scratch notes about this. It's dry and no taste, just like my humor. Well, the thing is, like, if you do it right, and I'm not gonna say that all turkey's gonna be super duper awesome, but if you put a little gravy on it, and it's nice and moist, I think maybe you just haven't had properly cooked turkey, because everybody wants to put the whole turkey in the oven. If you spatchcock that mofo and spread it out like your thighs, slap that thing down on a pan, get it in the oven and get it up to temperature slowly, it's going to be very, very moist. You can brine it ahead of time too, and then you're just eating salty water with your turkey meat, but it is very good. And you get all the right spices on that thing. Spatchcocking it is a way to really hit it out of the park in terms of getting, because that turkey meat's going to be kind of thick and the oven's going to have like a temperature gradient to it. You know, if you use the, what is it, convection oven feature, that'll kind of even the temperature out throughout the entire oven. You can cook it and it can be very moist indeed. Our turkey was not dry at all. We had an amazing turkey here. The meat itself, you know, the white meat is a little bit dry. It can be a little bit dry, but if you do it just right, and it's tough, a lot of people don't cook turkey properly. It's just one of those things, you know. That's where the deep frying the turkey bit comes from, is that if you deep fry it, then you've got hot oil cooking it, and that hot oil is going to distribute the heat, and it's going to, you know, have less of a temperature gradient across your meat, and it's going to, well, it'll flash off any liquid that's on there, which is why you should take your frozen turkey and throw it into the hot oil immediately so that no water gets in. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's how you start a fire. You know, thaw the turkey completely, pat off the outside, make sure it's dry on the outside, and then you can put it in the oil, and you probably won't start a massive fire, but you probably will, but it will make a very moist turkey. Yeah, or maybe it is just inherent, some of the inherent textures you just don't like about turkey. And it's okay. It's okay to not like things. Everybody wants to. It's one of those things where you say, like, I don't drink. And everybody goes, why? Why don't you drink? Why don't you drink? Why don't you drink? You should drink. You didn't even drink the right stuff. You haven't drunk the right stuff. You should drink. And it's like, stop it. Like, all you need to hear from somebody is, I don't drink alcohol. That's the entire responsibility of them informing you. You're not supposed to try to bring them over with argument. Absolutely ridiculous. Send a quick email to see what I'm talking about specifically. Okay, I will check out that email after stream and we'll see if I have any ideas of what you're looking for. It's not supposed to be on fire? Depends on the recipe. So I would have loved to set these up as instances. I don't know what the word is. I don't know what the word is. I'm not great at programming. I'm not Rob Oz, but I'm not great at programming. What's wrong with you? You don't like poison? Yeah, I need to cut back on my drinking. That's something I got to do. I've made some headway with that. I know, I have friends who just don't do alcohol, and it's not for any particular reason other than the fact that my one friend is competitive, and this is it's a weird reason. So it's not something he really likes to tell people, but he is very competitive. He's just fundamentally competitive, right? He's just fundamentally competitive. It's not something that people get when you explain it to them. And so when he says he doesn't drink alcohol, what he means is that he would probably kill his liver in a couple months because he'd want to be the most at drinking alcohol. That's just how he is. If you ever see him like eat a meal with his friends, you can see that competition. He's like, I have to eat faster than everybody else. Your liver thanks you. Mine does not. Mine is mad at me. But I'm going to cut back on all that stuff. You know, I drink lots and lots of water, but I just need to, I need to not be bored at night is what I need to do. That's my big problem. I've made a little headway with that, but not much. But anyway, those friends, like they would have to tell people like, yeah, I don't drink. And so everyone would suddenly be on the offensive and be like, why don't you drink? I've seen it in action. And it's like, dude, if you're hosting or just the social interaction in general, if you want to not be on the bad side of somebody that doesn't drink, all you need to hear is, I don't drink alcohol. And you go, all right, can I get you a soda or something? Like, that's it. That's it. That's all you should do. And this is why I switched to gummies. It's much better on your lungs for sure. I hope Pennsylvania can make some headway in that sense. But since our legislative is so fucking Republican in the state, I don't think we're ever going to see them go, pot's fine. No, they're going to go, let's reinstate the Scarlet Letter or some shit like that. Might as well go for a soda. Listen. Okay, so our states are in here. Our buttons are all like button up, button down, etc., etc., etc. Our bounces are here. We need our settings into our variables. So these are going to be the output settings. And since I don't really know programming very well, I'm just going to make a bunch of variables to do it instead of like, because this could be button dot up clicked, right? Bounce is indeed a debouncer, yes. We're using bounce 2, and bounce 2 allows us to have just a very nicely backgrounded button pressing thing. Bounce 2 I think is obsolete, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm using it anyway. Google's bounce 2. Wait, is that like something I shouldn't do? I'm going to do that in a different window. A struct, yes. Yeah, Arduino docs, bounce 2. I thought I'd get porno. You told me there would be porno. No. I got to remind myself of these things because I think that would be much nicer for the bouncer. I keep thinking of bounce by the system of A down. I keep thinking of internet comment etiquette and bouncing on your boy's dick. I can't, like every time we use bounce, that's all I can think of. Soda and bitters is really low in alcohol? Soda and bitters? Why would you drink that? Why? Just in general, how do we discover bitters? Like, did somebody like, oh God, let me put alcohol in it? What is up with people? It's like, how do we discover that all the mushrooms are good and bad? It's kind of like a mini class. Okay, Kim Mitchell reference. Okay, I didn't get that. Yeah, I don't know Kim Mitchell. Yeah, no, all I can think is da 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 da. I don't need it explained. I just need like a little Dewey thing, a little how-to. It's about the same thing with the song. So struct channel. Okay, so with this up in the side window, having a lot of monitors is really nice when you got to code stuff. I can tell you that much. I can't get used to the vertical monitor, but having a lot of monitors where you can put all your reference and stuff, and when you do this kind of stuff, when you do this kind of stuff, where you've got microcontrollers and pinouts and like parts with functions and you know, interactivity and stuff going on and this, that, and the other thing, it is really nice to be able to have both data sheets and little tutorials and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, up all over the place. Why don't you use e-ink? You just want it. So why do you use e-ink? Why do you use it? Why would you use it? I have a lot of these little I2C screens and they're really nice. They do a very good job. And so we're putting a screen on this thing as sort of a stepping stone into the big module testing module, which is going to have a vacuum fluorescent display on it. These aren't incredibly, well, e-inks are low power, but they're also kind of a pain. I know the Onagachi uses an e-ink, and I've got somewhere around here, I've got enough stuff to build an Onagachi. And I really want to build one, because then I can just walk around like, you know, like the cool, whatever the guy is, the new meme guy. What is that guy? The one who isn't bothered by anything. And meanwhile, the thing in your pocket is using AI in order to figure out what everybody's Wi-Fi codes are. Bonus points if one of your monitors is portrait. I can't get used to that. I just can't get used to that. I've tried. And then when I had 3 monitors, the third monitor would be idle most of the time. And I tried to put like system status stuff up on that monitor, and it was just a big mess. So I decided to take down the third monitor. I just 2 monitors, totally fine for me. Things start to get a little bit tight when I'm doing something like intense AutoCAD, and I've also got something up to be a distraction, but then I've also got something else up as a reference, because I'll be doing like a schematic, and I'll have my references up, and then I'll also have some distracting like YouTube video. And that's when things kind of, I would rather have that third monitor. But other than that, like occasional scenario, 3 monitors was too much. All right, are we all up to date? I'm all up to date on chat. All right, let me jump back into this. And let's put a struct together. So we are going to do, where do these go? Where do the structs go? Probably early up here, right? So struct, and then this would be bounce boy. Struct bounce boy. Actually, it should be struct channel. Struct channel, and each channel will have, well, this is calling them item 1, item 2, item name. Oh, I see. So string, int, etc. So this would be a double one Java monitor? What? Global? Yeah, I mean, it's a global structure, I guess. Okay, frequency. What is frequency would be possibly a double, to be honest. I'm gonna open up Arduino reference. Because we're going into the decimals with this thing, right? And so if we make them, I mean, oh, there are some structures already. No, they're not. Okay, functions, variables. I mean, float is two decimals, right? No, float it can be 3. Oh, can go e to the 5th too. All right, so we'll just do floats. They don't need to be too complicated, but float frequency. Oh, that's protected, isn't it? Float freak. Float amp. Frequency, amplitude. Oh, you were answering where to put it. So here's a tip, and it's not something that I even follow. Repeating the question just a little bit when you answer something is really nice for me because I've got like a full second delay, and you guys have a couple seconds of delay. And I'm also dumb. I'm very, very dumb. So if you put just a little bit of the question in there, that really helps me contextualize what you were talking about. Because by the time an answer rolls in, my brain is in another county. I am trying to avoid the cops, and so it just helps everybody out. And I don't do that a lot. I put my little quippy comments down on other people's streams, and I can tell they get less happy when they read what I said, and because it's so dumb and it's a thing that they've already moved on from. So if we make a channel structure, we've got frequency and amplitude, and then we also have int waveform. So output settings, struct channel, and then waveform. What are we going to have? Waveforms. Well, it's going to be sine, cosine. What's up, print technology? Triangle, saw, square. Sine, cosine, triangle, saw, square, DC, and well, the rest of them would be special functions, and we're not building that in yet. So rest are special func, not implement. Because that would be its own menu, is setting up special functions. Noise! Psh. Okay. White noise, brown noise. Blah, 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 blah. Audio, I don't think I'm going to put audio in this. I don't think I'm going to put audio in it. Later on, DTMF to freak with it. I know DTMF very well, thank you. I know my DTMF in and out. I'm doing good. I've been drinking less, so I feel much more awake. I'm going to get liquid and use the bathroom. Let me put up a BRB. I also haven't had my, oops, that's the wrong one. ADHD meds in like a week, over a week, and I really need to contact my doctor after the stream today. It's not good. But I've been putting every spare ounce of brain power into not screwing up without my meds. Drink while peeing. You got it. Now, if we could animate something on the screen, I totally would make that the BRB indicator right now. And actually, I'll just do that. Yeah. Hold on. Oh, no, I closed Hello World, so I can't do anything with that. Damn it. Oh, well. We'll figure it out later. But right now, I'll just leave this up, and I'll be right back. So hang tight, everybody. Oh, I turned the volume down on that. Turn the volume back up. Foamy? No, I think that's FOMO. Glucose level 252, but it's going down. It's getting dark out already? What the heck? Oh, wow, it's already that late? Holy. We are rebuilding a protest for the Grim that I saw on What the hell are those words? Oh, print technology's rated. I didn't notice that. I'm so sorry. I need a better rate indicator. Where did that happen? Oh, party of one. Oh, it's just you rating. We don't indicate tiny raids. Thing is, I could actually make the screen display my BGs. Party of one raid. You little shit. You got highlighted messages because of that. They're highlighting. You little shit. Look at that. You get these highlights on your messages because you raided with a party of one. He's looking all special. Stupid Twitch tricks. Let me get BRB out of here. What are you saying? We're building what is a pot test? A potest for the Grim that I saw on Insta. Unfortunately, the print file is only available on Patreon. I hate that. That's what the print a gun thing did, right? I'm like, I can do that. I can do guns. Like, I own a couple, so better be prints in this bitch. Could you imagine if somebody like, well, I was gonna say P. Diddy, but that's a really bad example. Could you imagine if like Michael Jackson was on Twitch, or like if Obama was on Twitch? He's like, I'm bored. I'm gonna go on Twitch. Makes an account, right? One person account, and he just like raids into a channel, and the person's like, one viewer from Obama. like, and it's actually Obama, but you're like, who the fuck is this? Because it's like so improbable. I like that you're using a thermal camera. We do enough soldering that the thermal camera actually does give a little bit of information about what's going on. And it also, my moderator got kind of sick of me poking chips to see if they were burning me or not. But I still poke chips. That'll never change. But still, we can see, like, when we power something up, if it's working properly or if it's exploding. It's very useful. Okay, so the file's only available on Patreon. The printable gun stuff did that. They said, oh, it's $14 for the plans. And I'm like, okay, what? I thought you guys were philosophically into the whole, like, breaking down of all the rules that were in place in a previous system that sort of limited it. Like, the rules were actually inherently kind of a little bit racist for people, like, who didn't have the means to the ends of building these things. And so you put the plans out for free, and with printing technology, people, like, anyone can do this stuff. And so your philosophy is that it's for the masses, it's for the people. But then you make your plans $14. But not only that, you won't sell them to people unless they join a society of gunsmiths and pay a month of dues and participate a little bit so that they know you're not a cop. What's that? Most of what go out in raids? You can't please anyone. So the plans are in Patreon. Printed the modules, Grim 200%. The pedestals for the Grim to remain stable. That takes up too much printing time. Built it out of wood. I can't speak English well. I don't know what you mean by a Grim. Is that what the model is? That sounds frustrating, though. That does sound frustrating. It's like they say they give the plans out for free, but they don't. You have to pay $15. That might be a tithing. It might be a small fee. And I appreciate what they're doing in designing these things and making them so that, you know, anyone can build. I don't know about anyone can build a gun, but I thought it would be funny to do as many felonies as I possibly could on my 3D printer. And it turns out you can print something that looks like a bottle opener, and it makes your gun go da 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 until it's out of bullets. I completely destroyed it and the files, but apparently that's a thing that you can do. Oh, I see. You had viewers, but most of them leave during raids. That's all right. That's all right. Thank you for raiding. Appreciate you. I really do. We're working on programming here, and I'm trying to set up a structure. And I really should set up a structure for the buttons, too. In button up clicked, in button select. That should also be a structure. Let's see. Into current screen is fine, but struct but the struct but will be uint. Actually, only perform action when the button is clicked and wait until another press. Same as above, same as above. So, I mean, our structure doesn't actually have to be. We could do a structure to represent the button, but instead, I mean, we're using the debouncer already. It's getting cold in here. Hold on. Did you guys notice how I forgot the music and I started programming and then I didn't? This is me without medication. Welcome. Let me close this window a little bit so I'm not distracted by it's getting freezing cold out. And we are getting up there in hours. We've been working for a little while. I don't need to set up a structure because I check all those debouncers. And then when I check all the debouncers, I could use those to update these structures. But this is, I mean, I can just make the functions respond to the stuff. Let's see what this program wants me to do in terms of interaction, because we're changing this into being a debouncer. We have bounces on buttons 1, 2, 3, and 4. I guess I could do up, down, left, and right. We don't have to call it. Oops. Bup, ba down, left, or we'll do B capital L. I want to remind myself that they're buttons. So then, bup down, left, right. Bup down. Left, right, right. We can make that a little bit more accessible that way. We'll sort of know what's going on. Burp. I don't want to do too many of those good substitutions. We could just see it as burp. What is thing being built? What's our building? This is going to be a tester, and it is a tester of waveforms. It's just something to output a bunch of waveforms, and I'm giving it a screen and menus. So we already have it saying, "Hello world," and so from "Hello world," we've got to give it personality. We need to give it menus and items and stuff like that. It's basically going to be, when you go into the menu, it'll be channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4, channel 5, and channel 6. And then those channels will have properties. And so I'm setting up structures with those properties: frequency, amplitude, and then waveform. And the waveforms are sine, cosine, triangle, saw, square, DC, noise. We're going to need to build those all into menus. So it's going to be channel, menu, or channel setting, list of settings. That's simple. It's just going to be that simple. And then on a splash screen, we could have something tell you what all the channels are set as. We can break the screen up into 6 sections, and I can draw these sick section photos for everything. But we need to know how this thing is working too. Set the color to white. Begin. Set bitmap mode. I guess we're going to need this stuff. Pin modes we've already got going on. So I'm trying to kind of, in the context of how this thing works, make it blink or beep. No, neither. We're going to make this just show us what the channels are doing. And then when I hit the buttons up here, it'll bring us to menus that you can scroll through and change the settings. And then the outputs are here on these guys. I don't have any output indicators because I didn't really have room for the extra op amps. It would have been nice, would have been cool to have all of those extra op amps on everything. I mean, I could maybe set up a miniature op. Now it's too many things going in and out. If I were, the final module testing module is of course going to have its own op amps for displaying what the channels are doing, but we're not fully featured in here. We are simply minimalistically featured in order to do all the tasks that we need to do and get this thing done. It's better to have it working than to have it perfect. So the perfection is the enemy of progress here. Void loop. If digital read demo pin is equal to low, demo mode is equal to 1. That's just reading the buttons. That's going to be something that we need to figure out what to do. If current screen is equal to 0, menu screen. See, again, this is programmed in a way that I don't really like. If current screen is equal to 0, then you should have a function with all of this stuff in it. Instead of programming this all in the loop, that it may look, you know, like you've done all your homework and everything works properly, but when it gets to troubleshooting, I don't like it when things aren't tree, subtree of function. If digital read button pin low, we're doing buttons inside of here? Oh boy. Up and down buttons only work for the menu screen. If digital read button up pin is equal to low and button up clicked is equal to low. Button up clicked, jumping to previous menu. Okay, so here we're menuing it out. So this is the framework of their menu, huh? Item select is less than 0. Item select is equal to number times -1. It's also the struggle that we have right now is that it's Friday, and I may be running out of steam for this kind of stuff. Digital read, button select, click. So they did a very basic system here. I was hoping for something a little bit more complicated and easy to, I mean, this is easy to understand, but I was hoping for something easier to implement. Set the correct value for the previous and next items. Clear buffer, clears the buffer for storing display content in RAM. If current screen is equal to 0, menu screen, here's the, okay, select item background. Bitmap item select outline, draw previous item as an icon label. So this is drawing the, oh no, that's the background for the whole page. And then we're writing our little, so what this person sets up is small icons. Where is that? They were copying the Flipper Zero, which I'm kind of learning how to use. And so we don't need this anymore. Don't need that. This is the wrong one. I need the other window. I selected the wrong window again. I have this open on 2 windows. Oh God, oh God. I've lost it. I've lost my mind. Go away. So these are the 2 mixer chips. I guess I can look those up later. Boop, boop, boop. And then over here, we've got the GitHub project. Okay. So their code is not quite what I would want, but I can still kind of figure out what the interaction should be based on how they're organizing things. I may want to look up some other menu codes, but you know, I do like what they did where they have like a selected thing and you scroll up and down in order to get to the next menu item, and it sort of puts everything out there. The creators from Chechnya, that's cool. I'm cool with where the code is fine. It's just I would organize it a little bit more fluidly. And I may want to take a look at that. I was hoping that it would be a slightly simpler engine that I could take over, but it seems like I'm going to have to go through, you know, function by function and sort of peel it out and make it work in sort of the sense of how I like stuff to work. What did you say? What do you mean, what did I just say? What? I don't think I said anything bad. So are they making a new screen for every single one of these? No, because they've got text going down there. I guess they're drawing the box around the center, and then they move the stuff. Oh, is it not? Czechia. What did you type? Like, I can't, what is that? It's not Chechnya. It's a very different place from Czechina. Are you trying to, you're trying to say China or Czech Republic? Oh. Man, you guys are hard to keep up with. I've never heard from, that's not Chechnya, it's Czech Republic. Czechia is what was typed. I've never seen that word before. That's why I pivoted. Czechia. They're from Czechia. I have never seen that. I think that's one of the ones that I would just like avoid and say they're from the Czech Republic, or, you know, renamed some years ago. I just have not heard that. So in their tutorial, they were going over some of the stuff that they were doing. But are they spelling it out, the whole thing? Free online Arduino emulator. Oh man. Because look, they're hand drawing everything, but I thought they took the sections. Generate the code from the bitmap image. What do we, the whole picture is on there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I need to look up a different menu item library and see if I can get something that I can like more simply put in. It would be maybe easier to organize, or maybe I can just come up with something on my own. I'll have to figure this out. I got to figure this out. So we got Hello World working. We troubleshot this a little bit. We can also add to Hello World the frequency outputs and check that. But I think right now what's happening is we're going to be done. It's 3.5 hour stream of me figuring out what I'm supposed to be doing. But it turns out that we've got to do like a major code rewrite. And so I'm going to need to figure out how I'm going to boil it down. I guess what I'll do is I'll split stuff out into functions, and I'll try to keep my whole tree of like read the value of the inputs, do the screen stuff, set the value of the outputs, and we'll see if we can figure out how to do something with that. If I'm setting the value of the outputs every time, it just needs to get through the loop in order to set that. So as you're looking at the screen and changing a value, it hasn't clicked in yet until you back out of that menu, and then it will click the value in on the next program loop. What's the GPU Hall of Fame in the background? It is just a bunch of, well, two of them are just coolers. One is the Radeon 6900 XT. There's a 1080 FTW, an EVGA 1080 FTW. So the 6900 and the FTW is decoding this video right now. That's the one inside of this water-cooled PC on the rack right there. And then my main water-cooled PC sitting behind me is the actual 6900 XT, which I have not had any problems with. This has been a wonderful card. I was playing Stalker 2 for like 20 minutes on it. And then this is the Radeon 970. So these are the three of probably the best video cards that have existed. GTX 970, there we go. So the 970, I replaced mid-pandemic with the 1080 FTW, and that thing still could probably be doing just fine. It does just fine on this computer with AutoCAD and stuff like that. It can run like most any game. I went to the 6900 XT because of the sex number, and also because I wanted to do a big razzmatazz computer build on screen. My kid has a 1080 in his PC. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. It's a great card. And because consoles are running like, ancient stone tablets as software, they don't really get too crazy with the graphics. Plus, I'm moderately over 40 years old. I don't play anything with graphics anymore. Stalker 2 managed to be the most graphical thing I've tried to load on my graphics card, but generally I don't like graphics in my games. I like my blocky games. And so the 1080 has just been bored most of its lifetime. It's water-cooled now for longevity. I do not know why I have a little skin tag under my wrist. It keeps coming back, too. I don't know what it is. Weird. Anyway, I think I'm done. I think we're done for the day. Been playing Noita. Yeah, exactly. Like, what's it gonna do? Calculate more pixel physics? Noita is also an absolutely wonderful game. I love that game a lot. I did quality of life mods on it a little while back, and I played a couple sessions. We tried playing Noita on stream a while back, like years ago, and that was when they first released chat interactivity. The chat interactivity on Noita is designed to kill you, and that's all it does is kill you. It was like chat was like, give him lightning, and then I die. I'm already not good at Noita. I don't need chat's help. Anyway, all right, so we moderately succeeded today. We got Hello World out of the screen. I've got the beginnings of kind of a screen library that I can put together. This wonderful Chechia, I don't know how to say it, man. This Chechenian? No, that's not, Chechnya is not, no, Chezia. Czechia. Czech, this Czech person. God damn it. Whoever wrote this code gets all the credit. No, my checks are bouncing. I don't care. Whatever. The person who wrote this did it in kind of a very basic way, and I can use that as a framework to then build functions in order to sort of simplify things and move everything into something that's a little bit more structured and readable. I need to do that on my own, so I'm going to work on that this weekend. I am going to save the module test code, and I'll move that to my other computer where I can work on it comfortably. Maybe I can get ADHD medication Probably not. They treat you like a criminal whenever you try to do that. If I can get it, then I could definitely do a number on this software. It's one of the things that my meds really help with. But other than that, I mean, I'm still waiting for the scope to update. Where's that? Where's that overlay? Why is it still doing this? It's had hours. It's had 3 hours to update, and it just hasn't done it. All right. Here's the end card with all the information on it. I'm going to type this. I'm going to go, pop. I'm on Discord. I'm going to be on Discord. If you guys want to take a look at this software, just ask. And other than that, I hope you guys have a good weekend. Thank you, Raiders. Even if you were just one person, or if Twitch had an error and didn't say who rated. Or if you don't understand the language, I appreciate you guys being in the channel, and also for course correcting me on what you typed. I appreciate you guys for doing that, because I'm going a mile a minute here. I will be back on Tuesday, which is next month. It's we've got only a couple days left in the month, and next month I will be back on Tuesday, and I will hopefully have a ton of progress on this, possibly even the whole thing working, because all this needs now is software. Once I get that framework sort of structured out, all it needs to do is set functions and set numbers in functions. And that's easy to do with the Arduino, the Paul Stoffrigen Arduino tools, the audio tools. Very easy to do. So we've already done that on the channel before. And maybe I can just quickly go over with you guys how it works, and then we can get right back into building that circuit for the mixer. Once I have all the channels running into the mixer, I can say, okay, the design is good. And then we move over to CAD. We go to Fusion 360. We have a sponsored stream. We start putting traces on circuit boards. So I'll see you guys then. Hopefully we'll get huge amounts of progress this weekend, and everything will be fine, and people will like me, and I will finally be popular again. Thanks for watching.